and welcome to the Western Isles Dungeons and Dragons stream. This is a West Marches styled Dungeons and Dragons game, which means that rather than have a sort of regular weekly time with a regular weekly cast, instead we play at somewhat irregular times with a recurring, or with selected parties from a roster of about a dozen players. My name is Sam Sorensen. I am the Dungeon Master of this here Dungeons and Dragons stream. Today, the party is headed out to explore one of the aforementioned Western Isles in sort of a mixture of scouting and also seeking a mysterious, strange black spire and some other stuff. Right now, we're going to go around in a circle and introduce ourselves, describe who we are, what our characters are, what they generally look like, that sort of thing. You guys know how this works. Who wants to start? One of these two.
I will begin. My name is Dom. I play Kay, the human sorcerer. Not a sorcerer. That's wrong. That was the descriptive word for what he is, which is a wizard. He's just a meek-looking, pale guy with, 19 years old, strong as hell, and used to wear a big skull mask on his face, but now he has a giant, spiky crown. He's a weird fucker.
You should also put a question mark next to that 19, because we don't actually know.
Well, he doesn't know. He thinks he's 18, but he was aged up about a year on the Death Island.
My name is Sam. I play Wilavor, the half-elf bard.
What are Wilavor's vibes? What's he like?
Neck beard.
His beard's gone, actually, so he doesn't have a beard anymore. He wears a very colorful cloak. He has tons of instruments. He's carrying around currently a massive drum, a magical lute, and a magical set of pipes. Just likes music, man.
Damn right he has a magical set of pipes.
Who are you?
I am Cassandra, the Dragonborn Rogue Ranger, bronze scaled, about 6 foot tall, heavy, very serious, likes to make people very uncomfortable in roleplay after her resurrection at this point.
What's your name?
Cassandra?
No, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Will.
Okay.
Will doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, I'm already in
Cassandra.
the game, Sam.
Yeah, so confusingly with me and Sam, both named Sam, I typically go by DM, Dungeon Master, Bastard, Awful Person.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker, that's a good term. Who are you?
I'm Rohit. I play Dendro Cindrus, a Wood Elf monk, Kensei monk. Dendro he has like dark skin. He's pretty tall for Wood Elf, and he just likes to go around and hit things with his sword.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how edgy is Dendro?
How edgy am I?
Should we just go around the table with that one?
Yeah, I feel like it's more of like a outwardly perception.
We'll do that at the break. How edgy do you think Dendro is?
Do I think he is? Like try-hardy or like actually?
Either one.
Like 8.
Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
that's fair.
Alright. The party is currently in their home base, the Last Chance Inn and Tavern. I should mention a few things. One of them is, this game is tracked in sort of real time, which means that right now this party is heading out on Monday the 15th of April. And if they're out for 3 days, they will not return for 3 days, which means their comrades, the other members of the Dauntless, the Last Chance, whatever you want to call them, Dauntless.
We've never been daunted.
Otherwise known as the Stick Kickers.
Yeah.
In our off-topic group chat.
The other members exist in a Discord, which you can see the links below, both on Twitch and YouTube, where you can watch our taproom goings-on in real time. So the groups who are in the taproom won't see what's happening on this stream, hopefully, for the next while until the current group out returns to their home base. You can also follow us on, so Twitch, Discord, Twitter. We have a subreddit. We also have a wiki page that's not been updated in a while.
Yeah, we're pretty bad about updating our wiki.
Yeah, you can update it for us. We would love fans to do that.
We know you're not going to. Right?
Yeah, that's fair. All the music you're hearing is from either The Witcher or Kevin MacLeod or Jeremy Soule, all of which should be legit and legal, I think. If it's not, please tell us. We'll stop. Don't strike us.
I think we would have already been stricken.
I don't think we have enough viewers to really be struck properly.
No, algorithms will take down anyone.
That's fair. That's fair.
Machine learning and algorithms.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
garbage.
as mentioned, they're currently in the rickety old inn, the Last Chance Inn and Taproom. What do you do?
Okay, so just as we're about to leave, pacing up since 6 a.m., he goes up to the bar. I was there, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question to ask you before we head out.
Aye?
It might sound like a weird question, but I have a theory that I want to test. What's your mother's name?
My mother's name?
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
I have a feeling that we might be running into somebody today that she might know.
Somebody my mother knew.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a hunch.
That's...
Probably a
That
huge
is indeed
stretch,
quite a hunch.
but I'd like to test it out.
What?
Tom.
What?
Or, this is me talking to you out of trigger. That, are you talking about the monk?
Yeah.
That's a man, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea where you're going with this.
Okay, good.
So you just want to know my mother's name, just for the hell of it?
Well, I think we might be encountering an individual soon who might be one of the people who were here when your mother was running things.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who? I knew most of those folk back in the day.
I don't know anything about him actually. Who was there?
The guy on top of I wouldn't-
Yeah, who was there? Y'all didn't actually see him, did you?
Yeah. Someone saw him.
Yeah.
An
Not
eagle
up
went.
close, though.
I flew up. I mean, I had eagle eyes. I could see him
It
fairly
was
well.
basically just a ripped old man from what I've
Yes,
heard.
very
Ripped old
monk-like.
man, very monk-like.
Huh.
I don't-
Well, since you're curious, my mother's name was also Ayla. It was named after her.
That's sweet.
Is that the
Thank you.
truth?
Make an insight roll.
Oh God.
I was gonna say no chance Boulder's up right now.
What'd you
The
get?
28.
It's hard to get a read.
Oh! Fuck.
What the fuck?
I was right! Okay.
She's a dragon.
Thank you. Appreciate
Of course. Of course. Be safe out there, young lads and lasses.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
it. Okay. We set off at daybreak from the Last Chance.
Okay, it's about 7:30 in the morning.
We're heading.
West by northwest, fast pace for 3.5 hours.
Oh, I need to get my updated map. One moment, please.
Updated map.
Updated map.
The
You're in
islands are
scouting.
growing.
I always update the map when you guys go scouting.
Do you?
Often, not always, but most of the time.
Tell me the isles expanded last
I know where
year.
we're going.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
You should show the map to the cameras.
Okay.
You can't see most of it because I drew most of it, which means it's very light, and I was expecting Don to go over it, and he never did.
We're on the left side.
That's the area where
Almost
we're
like-
Twitch to the right a little bit. Further. Perfect.
There it is. I don't know if it's focused, but that's kind of what it looks like.
It's actually like not horrific focus. It's not
You can kind of see the Last Chance is over here.
Yeah.
Where we're going.
That's a small segment of it, really.
Yeah,
Somewhere in
it is.
this area.
Yeah, it's pretty folded up.
You can keep that map on if
Yeah,
you
I'll
want,
hold on
if
to
you
it.
want to draw on it. Cassandra's officially mapping because she can do 2 things at once, but
I've been attentive to the stream.
You can't be.
yes, I can. It's right cartography.
You can keep an.
proficiency.
Oh, cartography proficiency. Right. I was
Yep.
thinking ranger tools. Sorry. Okay, so you walk for roughly the first. Are you going to fast pace, I presume?
Yeah.
The first hour or so, you spend walking through narrow gray pine trees, blooming in the April springtime before you emerge out onto grassy plains. Here and there you can see clumps and mounds of snow, but it's mostly this sort of long, slightly sharp grass rises up to your knees, roughly. It's brown from wintertime, and here and there you can see green stalks coming up. Ahead of you is a wide, green, scummy lake, some kind of crumbling structure on the far side. Takes you about 45 minutes or so to reach that lake. You skirt around the edge of it, passing by the crumbled structure.
No form.
At the end of those 3.5 hours, You find yourself now right at the base of the mountains, in the distance rising. There's a crumbled stone tower next to you, hills and trees rising to your right.
Stone tower.
Crumbled and broken.
The base of the mountains?
Alright.
We should be like a little ways into the mountains, I think, aren't we?
Like you're just right at the entrance of them.
Yeah. Turn west.
Okay. You turn west and walk for how long?
Until we hit the bridge.
Okay.
Or something stops us so we don't run off the edge of the chasm.
Okay. Yeah, you just walk and just roadrunner style, just walk straight off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It takes you about an hour and a half of walking through the mountains. The last half hour or so, you sort of emerge above the tree line when you reach the wide open stone bridge, stretching over the narrowest point of the chasm, nearly 1,000 feet across. The chasm itself stretches several thousand feet beneath you. Islands stop below.
Super. We cross it.
Okay. You stride across the bridge. It's
Then,
quiet and windy.
then we turn, what, south by southwest?
I believe so. There it is, right?
That's not where we're going.
Well, we need
Look at
to make sure we're going through the central area.
Yeah.
It's this one, right?
Yeah.
Or is it? Oh, it's this one.
So
Yeah.
this.
Oh, I thought it was this one. Okay.
It's not this
Yeah,
one.
so we're heading around this way? This direction?
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
We're going through the mountains this entire time.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So, past the bridge.
Which way are you headed?
South by southwest.
South by southwest?
Yeah.
There's no Grandma Goblin here today.
Good.
Probably learned your lesson.
Probably.
Is there a Grandma Goblin?
Yeah, there was a Grandma Goblin. I had to lock her up tight just to make sure that,
So as you walk south by southwest, you sort of skirt the edge of the chasm, roughly-ish, a little ways inland.
Mm-hmm.
You walk for about an hour before you begin to hear the rush of water.
Yep.
Continue walking. You skirt right by the kind of a bend in a wide, fast-flowing river.
Yeah, we'll start following that river
Okay.
at that point.
So you follow that river for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. It runs a little closer to proper southwest than south by southwest until you see sort of there's a short fall as the river, like the river comes out of
Goes
this
into
into
a
the mountain. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we will.
So you've been traveling today for
Like 6 hours.
3.5 plus closer to 7, I think.
'Cause it's
3.5.
three
No,
and
it's
a
more.
half, and then
3.5
an
to the base of the
hour
mountains and an hour and a half to the bridge. That's 5.
Yeah, you're right.
You're actually close to 8 right now. You're like, yeah. You're like 7, 15.
7.5, yeah.
Yeah.
7:15. All right, so we'll rotate around this mountain.
Okay.
And then just start heading west at a
Okay.
normal pace.
Okay. By the end of your travels today, you sort of have descended down from above the tree line into the tree line proper, so it's now pine trees here and there, wide spreading stone cliffs, lichen and moss spread
And then
around.
west directly from this mountain is trees.
Yeah, the river sort of, you can tell looking at it from when you were, like that river, it crosses down and really runs kind of along the edge of the tree line.
Okay.
Above it, you can see it's carved, so like to the eastern side of the river is oftentimes cliff sides, short ones, rising up the mountains. On the western side, it descends downward further and is mostly treed.
Okay. Could we have rotated around that mountain to like stay in the mountains? Because I know this.
You're still in mountains right now.
Okay.
It's just treed
Oh,
mountains.
okay. Got it. I was missing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's roughly where you end your travel for today.
We'll find a
You can-
secluded spot.
You can see ahead of you is foothills for a ways. You're close to the border of the foothills. And then in front of them, or past them, is wide, spreading, hilly sort of grasslands. Secluded spot, maybe a survival roll.
20 something.
Okay.
26.
26, yeah. So you find a spot where a stand of trees looks like they're solid, but in fact you can sort of worm your way through them to find like a small clearing, sort of stony and gravelly, like where a rockfall came previously and then trees since grown. It's an area roughly probably 20 foot on the side, real secluded and out of the way.
Nice.
1 foot on the side, right?
So is it wide enough for a hut or clear enough?
Just
for a
barely,
hut?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So 8 hours from 7 o'clock brings you to about 3:30.
Yep. I'll go looking for water.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go look for food.
Okay. Are you gonna look for like natural, like other sources of water, or just go to the river?
Oh yeah, I guess I'll just go to the
Okay,
river.
so you head to the river. That won't take
We'll
you probably.
boil water.
Yeah, that'll probably take you 45 minutes.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Food.
Okay, make me a foraging roll.
I will also go.
Okay.
Things.
Okay.
I will also look for
All right. Everyone goes hunting.
Yep.
Make your foraging rolls.
Gang.
19.
19. That's a success. Yeah, survival.
7.
Okay. Dendro's unsuccessful. What'd you get
What?
for food?
I forgot to go.
Oh, okay.
So is it? It's after modifier. It's doubled, right? For the ranger ability.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I find 12 pounds of food.
Nice.
Oh my god.
It's not all meat. It's like some tubers, some
Yeah.
vegetable, or some berries and stuff like that, as well as a small thing of like squirrels.
So you'll return to probably, with your water run, probably an hour and a half or so later.
Sure.
So maybe about 5 o'clock. Sun's still high in the sky.
Right?
Cool. I'll start setting up snares around the camp.
Okay, you can do another survival roll.
You want me to do that with magic?
10.
Okay.
What?
You want me to alarm this place? Or you think that's good enough?
I mean, you should use every precaution you have available.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll start alarming the campsite.
Okay, so like about 2/3 of the like edges of the campsite is just like cliffside. Are you alarming that as well, or just kind of the places where you could?
Just the places that
Okay.
someone could approach from.
Alarm
Okay.
all, in case they climb up.
Alarm me. I can't climb up.
What?
I can't climb up.
You can
I'm not burning that.
You could try.
I would rather not.
Okay. So you spend a while setting traps and alarms and things. It's about 6 o'clock. What are you two doing over the course of that hour?
How tall are these trees?
These trees, center pine tree heights, like 40 or 50 feet high usually.
I climb up in the tree and just spend my time just looking around,
Okay.
taking a watch.
Yeah, just staring out. What are you doing?
meditating and clearing.
Okay. So it's about 6 o'clock when all activities are concluded. Anything else to do tonight? Or are you gonna break into fireside discussion? Fireside discussion, that's what I'm looking for.
Where exactly are we on this map right now? Well, you are
Sort of
here.
We are approximately here.
Cool. I
Vaguely.
gotta look around up top.
Do whatever you like.
Okay, sounds good. Now I'll burn a flashlight.
Okay.
Yeah, Cade casts fly. His clothes sort of bubble around him like he's underwater. And
That's
he
weird.
floats up into the ground.
Okay.
Or into the ground. Into the sky.
Okay.
Ground. Aw, yeah.
Okay, so you float upwards. So from the direction you were walking previously,
Yeah.
ahead of you, like I said, is sort of a few miles of foothills that break into sort of grassy, like rolling hills dotted with stands of trees. You can see right at the edge of your vision
It's so big.
to your like 2 o'clock or so.
At the edge of the vision.
Yeah, you can really only see this because it's so distinct. Is this broad, sort of shining strip shining in the afternoon sun that runs from your like 2 o'clock to your 3 o'clock, getting further away. You can see far in the distance, probably like 10 or 15 miles away, mountains rise, forested. You can see
What direction is that? Sorry.
basically straight ahead in the distance from really all the way from your like 2, 3 o'clock all the way over to your like 11 or 10. Roughly
Okay.
sort of an arc.
Sure.
So these mountains sort of run, and you can see sort of like to the left and right are broad, spreading plains. On the right side, they're more hilly, and the left side, they're more flat. All those are far away from you. You can also see winding your way through those plains, sort of close to the border of the hills and the plains proper, is this dark grayish streak. It sort of winds and runs its way across.
Oh,
It's a river.
yeah. Cool.
What
The
else?
ground is a lot less wide than.
Yeah, it's like.
Yes. Yes.
What else do you see from here? That's kind of it from here. It's really just like a lot of kind of like rugged hills and low mountains and things.
Yeah, no like smokestacks or structures.
Not that you can see from here.
Sounds good. Alright, we'll come back down.
Okay.
Yeah, other than the road and some rivers, nothing really stood out. Yep. Lots of forests and mountains and hills and plains. Alright.
We'll be in the mountains for most of this journey, so keep your eyes peeled.
Always good.
For sure.
So it's about 6 o'clock.
We
time
breaking
are
the
you-
roleplay.
What time are you planning on going to sleep tonight?
So it's what, a 10:45 watch?
With 4 of you, 10:40. Yeah.
Somebody's at
10:40.
7:30.
So roughly 11 hours.
So it's like
What was it?
9. Like we need to go about like 9:15, 9:20.
7:30. Sunrise.
Yeah. So 3 and then 7 is 10.
So what time do you go to sleep?
Like 9:20.
Okay. So that means you have about 4.5 hours of role playing to do, which means we are at 5 minutes. One of the things, since I'm a mean DM trademark, is that I, for every hour my players spend around just sitting around talking to each other in camp, I make them role play with each other for 1 minute, 1 minute uninterrupted.
Or 1 minute.
1 minute?
Yeah. That's what you were about to say.
Yeah, that's true.
Did say it.
Yeah, Kate closed the hut up also at some point before now.
Okay, great. Starting now.
So thoughts on my theory. Lay 'em on me.
What theory?
I think that dude is a hunter,
Okay.
and I think that the hunters are the dauntless of the previous generation.
Where's the evidence?
There's none.
It's a bad theory.
Okay. Anyone else? Second opinions?
I mean, we'll find out.
Sounds
I don't
exciting.
really, there's no basis of it. We're just gonna
Thank
try.
you, Dendro. See, Dendro gets it. Dendro gets excited.
I don't know.
If it's true.
I don't know where you came up with that idea. And I also don't think an arbiter. Why would they still be here? If they made all this money and found all this treasure, etc., etc., why would they still be here?
Well, I would have thought that I'd have heard of them if they'd gone back to the Empire, and I haven't.
I mean, there are lots of rich people in the Empire.
That's true. Could be any one of them.
It certainly could be. I mean, adventuring is a career of sorts. Not very lucrative most of the time, but sometimes people work out.
It hasn't been terrible for us. I mean, it's been pretty terrible.
It's
for
been
us, so
pretty
I-
bad,
I mean,
actually.
You know, builds character.
No, it
No.
really doesn't. Really, really doesn't. Some would say it destroys all the character you have, actually.
I would agree.
I mean, that's kind of like building character, but
Is it?
yeah.
Is
I
it
mean,
really,
sometimes-
Kay?
Yes. Yeah, never mind. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just trying to stay positive.
I
Well,
appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Take that. It's a good ratio.
It begins to gently rain.
It's fine. We can let.
Sounds like it's hitting metal just on the top.
what is this thing made out of?
I have no idea. Wibbly wobbly magic things.
It's
Aren't you,
actually pretty accurate. Yeah.
aren't you a wizard? Aren't you supposed to know these things?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a material, right? It sticks his hand through it. And, you know, how would you describe that? It's not anything that we can conceive of, really, in terms of. It just doesn't make
I
sense.
mean, it's something.
Right. It doesn't make sense physically, though, so I can't really describe why.
Like,
it
I
sounds
don't
like
understand
it.
how birds fly, but I know they can. So, like, I feel like that falls
They
in a
have wings.
similar realm. How does it? How
How
do wings
about-
help you? how do wings help you? That doesn't make any sense. What do they do around your wings?
How much science is there, Sam?
How much science is there?
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
like,
know the like how birds can fly.
you know, they have wings, you know, they flap them, which pushes the air down and lifts them
Okay,
up.
that's what I was looking for. They push the air down and lift them up. They have hollow bones in real life.
They push the air down
Mhm.
and that lifts them up.
Yep.
So why don't they always flap?
What?
Why don't birds always flap?
Sometimes they're gliding.
How does that work?
Air has. I don't really know. I'm not really an ornithologist. But I can describe that way more, with a lot more certainty than I can
But
how
this is
I
your
can fly into the air.
Okay, so you can describe something out of your field of expertise better than you can describe something in your field of expertise.
Well, I'm just saying I can describe it in terms that probably, maybe probably nobody would understand because it's a lot of diagrams and weird shit. But I can describe it physically as it applies to a bird, but there's no real physical description for how it applies to me. Other than that, it breaks all the laws of physical interactions that we know of.
stopped trying to understand magic a long time ago.
See?
That's fair.
What? Isn't your entire job to understand how magic works?
I mean, I understand how magic works, but that has nothing to do with how anything
It works?
physically happens.
Yes,
In
it
the real-
does.
I mean, it can influence it, but it doesn't operate within the same constraints at all. I can't explain it the same way. We don't have the same common vocabulary that let me to.
Magic is fucking stupid.
I understand how to harness it. I don't understand how it works.
It pulls out a spell book, opens it up. There's a lot of just like crazy shit in there, just like like weird script that like doesn't look like language, like looks semi-pictographic but also not at all. And then in the margins, just smooshed up are K's notes that he's written, and they're all and he's just like got like things underlined and like circled and like parenthetically notated, and like it's just a fucking mess. But it's like somewhere between math and language.
Jesus. I can't say Jesus. Christ doesn't exist.
You can read that?
God.
Yeah, I wrote
What?
some of it.
Why is it so messy?
That's just kind of how I work best, I guess.
I kind of want to see NK's reaction.
Overwhelming.
There's a bunch of like weird diagrams in there too that Kate didn't write,
He'd probably be able to read that.
like tubes.
Thank God I don't have to deal with magic.
I agree.
It's pretty fun.
It's awesome. No, it's real great.
I'll leave that to you too.
That's fine.
I'll gladly accept that
Yeah.
responsibility.
I'll take it.
Okay. And so with that, I take it you all settled into sleep.
Interesting choice, Dawn, not bringing up the fact that you saw Cassandra cast 2 spells last session.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, I guess those were spells. Huh?
Yeah, they were.
High end, low wisdom. Alright, what's the watch order?
Around the table.
Starting with Dendro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy, third watch.
It doesn't matter.
Third watch.
The night passes
Dark
without,
vision now.
night passes without incident.
Wait, really?
In the morning,
The crowd
There are-
gives me fucking red dark vision.
oh yeah. As morning arrives, there are big puffy gray clouds in the sky. The rain has stopped. There's a faint breeze blowing. Everything is very dewy and damp and moist. You know, like it's where, like even just touching like a branch of a tree lightly would just cascade of water. You know what I mean?
The crowd ups your
It's
DC
April.
too.
Any way I can tell if it's like these clouds are gonna rain, like real rain.
Make a survival roll.
23.
23. Looking at these clouds, you would guess it's going to be this more kind of like off and on light rain the whole day.
Okay.
It's
That's
just
good.
kind of like one of those April days,
Yeah, that's understandable.
broadly.
Like it today.
Alright. So round up the various people. Start going west. Still,
Alright.
we're gonna do our best to keep in the mountains if it seems like we're gonna
You're like really close to the edge of the foothills right now.
yeah.
And if you head west, you can tell you're just going to like enter those foothills and then.
So there's a break in the mountains. It seems like.
But yeah, there's the whole like grassy hills in front of you.
Ah. Okay.
Like this whole area is flat, and then there's like mountains way over here, and mountains here.
I figured there was just one giant ass connected chain of mountains.
Oh
It's weird that they're
no, I
not.
think it's broken.
So if you clamber up a tree right now, to your south
Yeah.
is like there's like mountains right now are sort of like behind you.
Yeah.
The mountains, and beyond
Like the
those
big
mountains,
like chasm mountains are behind you, and those
Yeah.
run a little ways to the south still, like a few
Yeah.
like 5-ish miles.
Yeah.
They go down to foothills and you have the swamp really south of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, in front of you, to the whole sort of like western edge, is foothills, or it's sort of like forested, like rugged foothills that
Yeah.
move into grassy hills.
Yeah.
And those go for miles. And then way in the distance, you know, like 20 miles away, there are more mountains in sort of like an arcing shape, roughly.
Yeah. Like over here.
Sure. I have almost definitely drawn that wrong on the map, Dom. Just so you're aware.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just keep going west.
Okay.
Normal pace.
Normal pace. So you are mapping and keeping watch and navigating?
Normal pace is only going to bring us 18 miles, and today is what, Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday morning.
Okay. So I will look at the group. So, we can be more aware of things, see things a little bit better, travel at a lighter pace, but we won't get to the spire until tomorrow. Or we can get there today and likely miss some stuff. Potentially. Depending.
We
Also-
are going into uncharted territory at the moment.
I prefer to have a best understanding of this area as possible.
So that means you won't be going up the road. You okay with that?
That's true.
And it will only have one day to deal with your friend up the spire. Talk to. I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Alright.
Road not time.
So, normal pace.
Normal pace?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you
Probably
spend
shouldn't be down up the road anyway.
probably spend roughly it's the first hour, a little less, walking through these rugged foothills, ups and downs, sort of like big, heavy escarpments and ridges and like runs and things. It's very rocky, very dense. It's sort of mostly pine trees with scattered deciduous trees here and there. The pine trees, as I mentioned, are... What's the term when the old needles are being shed and the new ones are growing? It's not blooming, it's... But you know what I mean, where there's those bright green new needles that are beginning to emerge as the old ones fall. The entire, just ground is just covered in water and muck and old pine needles and broadleafs. You spend about another hour, a little less, 45 minutes in those foothills before you emerge out onto rolling, sort of grassy hills this way and that. Ahead of you, you can now see a few thin smoke columns rising.
Interesting.
How far?
Couple miles, not far.
It's like, here, right? I think so. Right, because we're traveling this way,
Yeah.
so they're around here.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
We'll
Kind of
go.
directly ahead of us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
Cool.
We'll just continue that
Do we
direction.
have any height on it?
I mean, due to these hills, not really.
Okay.
I mean, these hills are not particularly large. The highest ones are maybe 100 feet high, but there's lots of ups and downs and rollings. Little streams and brooks wind their way through the bottoms. There are single standing trees and clumps of trees scattered all over the place, in some places denser than other ones. It's honestly fairly idyllic, frankly.
Sure.
How many can we count? Smoke columns?
Make a perception roll.
Sounds good. 5.
A bunch. They're small, but a lot.
If I climb up a tree, is that the only noticeable thing at this point?
Yeah, I mean, due to the hills, it's hard to make out much more
Just want to be
distance.
sure. Yeah, we'll just continue that direction.
Okay. So you keep advancing after about 25 minutes or so. These smoke columns get closer and closer and closer. After about half an hour, you can kind of see now there's a hill that's a little more forested, a little rockier, and you can see the smoke columns rise from the top of this hill. You can make out, or Cassandra and Dendro, you can both make out through the trees, here and there, pinpricks of red and orange and purple banners.
Red, orange, purple.
Seems familiar.
Any symbology on it?
Not through the trees this distance.
Purple.
What is the distance?
Right now, half a mile,
Half a mile?
a little less.
I mean, the folks at the now non-existent outpost had purple sashes on, didn't they?
Yes. I can get closer.
Could also fly you and make you invisible. Or fly someone and make someone invisible at the same time.
If you want to do recon. I mean, are these not the banks?
I don't know. It certainly seems that way,
Should
but
probably find out.
I don't
Do we
know.
want to mess with them if it is?
I don't think we have to mess with them. I think we can just...
Keep on our way.
Scout them.
Yeah.
Scout them. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so someone flies invisibly. Is that the plan?
If, yeah. I would be the quietest, no doubt.
So, yeah.
I'll also be able to manage if the flag goes out for any reason.
Probably true.
Yep.
Got that,
How long does it last?
An hour.
10 minutes.
For
10 minutes.
10 minutes and fly. Yeah.
Okay. Half a mile. So it's a mile there and back. Alright. I don't want to particularly get closer, but can't travel that far in 10 minutes, can you?
Half a mile?
I also have to come back.
Oh, sure.
That's a mile.
1 mile?
You can do 1 mile in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know you can do a
Just
mile.
barely. I mean, that's like a hit there, swoop around, and come back.
Yeah, that's not what I want to
So
do.
we
Okay.
get a little closer. A little sketch.
I mean, we could get closer. I don't know if that's necessarily the best plan. What do you want to do there? You can probably get over there and get back in that time.
I mean, I'd like to have a somewhat good. If I'm invisible, I'd like to have an okay look around.
Like on the ground? Look around?
I don't know. Depends on what I see.
Okay. How about a flyover to start, and then we can get closer if you need a closer look.
Seems like a waste of resources, but whatever. I can't cast a spell.
If you want us to get closer, we can get closer.
How quiet are you? I know
think we
you're
how
not that
we
quiet.
are.
You
I
vary.
very, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
How are
Before
you?
hunkers down.
What?
This is how I cast invisibility.
I mean, that doesn't help me. You gotta say it narratively.
We could get to like a quarter of a mile and do it. And then.
How about a third of a mile to make everyone happy? Half the distance.
Sure.
So you walk for another minute or two.
Alright. So, hide yourselves here. And then, or once I'm gone, hide yourselves. Alright?
Sure. Visibility.
I will stealth fly.
Okay. So you hurtle invisibly through the air.
Yeah.
It's-
Actually, it's not gonna matter.
I mean, you've flown before.
Yeah, I don't like
My
flying.
illusion.
Yeah.
I very much hate flying.
Yeah.
Does it only fit you?
Especially being invisible, it's surreal.
Yeah.
In that, like, you just, like, you can't see yourself, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
You feel like a pair of floating eyeballs.
I straight up hate this.
Okay. As you fly closer with these smoke columns, it only takes you a few minutes before you reach what you can now tell is the edge of sort of a camp or a village. At the top of this hill is sort of a rough wood and stone wall. When I say stone, it means like chunks of rubble that have been set up here with wood built around them. The wall is really closer to like a shitty palisade than anything else, draped with banners, like I said, orange and red and purple. You can also see here and there brown and gray and black. Decorated, what? Decorated with spikes and spines, horns and teeth, just anything sharp and protruding and dangerous. You can see in places there have been shields, blades and things hung along the top of this wall. Inside the walls, as you hurtle overhead, there may be 15, 20 buildings here. Most of them are fairly small. The cheapest and crappiest ones are a little more than hovels and shacks. The most built up one you can see is the center is this sort of like 2.5-story building, all sort of slanted roofs and ascending levels, thatched and shingled in wood and straw, again covered with spikes and spines and things. There are a number of individuals milling around here.
Any symbology on the banners?
The banners, it's all mixed and mashed, but it's all sort of like images. I mean, like banners don't match one to another,
Weird.
but it's all skulls and flames and spines, iron fists and spiked collars. You know, it's
Sure.
warlike imagery.
Yeah, what are the individuals?
There are a whole range of humanoids. You know, you see humans and elves, dwarves and halflings, gnomes, and there's no dragonborn. You see a number of tieflings, also stranger, more exotic races. Yeah, unusual ones here and there. They are united, however, by, like their banners and their flags, they all, not all of them, but nearly, I mean, they're not all the same, but across them, each will have at least sharpened nails, spines up their arms, horns twisting off their heads, spikes down their spines. You know, here in places sort of like, not quite scales, but like rough patches of leathery, tough skin. You can see here and there the nubs like wings from the shoulder blades, spikes coming out of their knees or the back up their legs. They're all sort of animalistic,
Like
vaguely
they've embraced the more monstrous side of their
Yeah,
monstrous
yeah.
parents.
Yeah. You also notice that many of them, as they walk, sort of have casual flickers of magic around them. Like, doors swing open for them, flames will burst as they walk and change colors. There's a heavy smell of brimstone in the air, just even flying high above.
How long on flight do I have left, approximately?
Probably spend a minute or two watching, so you have 5 minutes left?
5 minutes?
Maybe a little less, 4 minutes.
Alright, so it takes 4 minutes to get there.
Yeah. So, you have 30 seconds left before you need to head back.
30 seconds left.
In case you want to shank 5 of them.
Oh my god.
Throw
some daggers.
It is certainly tempting.
Goodbye, daggers.
Real fast, I'll try and see if I can see anyone who's like a prominent figure, like
Okay.
bigger than everyone else.
Make a perception roll.
Big sashes.
9 feet tall.
Yeah,
Should have kidnapped one.
just a monster dick. 25.
So scanning around, you don't see anybody who really fits that description, but what you do see, shush up for a second, is you can see a tiefling dressed in slightly more ornate clothing than everyone else. Most people are in like sort of cloth and bits of leather, occasionally more like robe-like instruments, but this tiefling is dressed in more clearly robes, but are functional ones, carrying this big wooden bowl with some strange sort of like grayish red liquid in the center, walking towards that main building in the center of the camp. Which point you can see the gates swing open and you can't really see inside, but you do see a hand reach out and grab the bowl. And the hand is large and sort of a grayish yellow in color, covered in spines and ridges. It takes the bowl and just vanishes into the darkness, and the gates close.
Anyway, I can identify that arm.
Make a nature or religion check.
Is this thing humanoid?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Don't worry, it's a 5.
Okay. I mean, it's a monster.
Yeah. Any idea what that liquid was?
Make a nature or arcana roll.
24.
I see.
24. As you look at it, you don't know exactly, but you can recognize some of the components. Some of that obviously was blood mixed in there.
Shit.
Some of that was ash. Some of that was what you're pretty sure is a kind of mushroom. Give me a second, I will tell you what it is.
Me looking from hundreds of feet away. Oh, they eat shiitake. I see it. There's Naruto in there.
Next mission's gonna be-
It's a kind of mushroom called a popper marsh.
Okay.
It's gray and black and spiky. It's a kind of toadstool. You mostly know it because when you like consume it, it makes the people like it's a hallucinogenic kind of, and it makes the people around you like their voices change. You can hear strange things that aren't necessarily there. You also see some chunks floating in that brew that you did not recognize, especially from this distance.
Yeah, understandable. Ooh, I'm tempted to go peek in that gate, but I really shouldn't. So I will fly back.
Okay.
Fine, we'll be-
In total, you probably saw outside 2 to 3 dozen people.
Okay. Sure.
We killed twice that many guys a couple days ago. Easy.
Yeah, we as long as we just montage through it like last time, we'll be good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I come back. I am still invisible, so you see like
Wow.
footprints.
Wonder when Sam's gonna come back.
All right.
Oh, Jesus!
Yeah, report. About 2 dozen individuals. There's a monster in the center. All of them are monstrous. All of them are magic. They are feeding the monster in the middle. Some weird mixture that I don't really know the properties of what it's meant to do. Blood, ash, some toadstool that does weird hallucinogenic things. I don't really see the point. But yeah, it's full of monstrous races. All of them who've embraced their monstrous side, so to
I mean,
speak.
there were also non-monstrous races there too.
Yeah, or more feral individuals.
And you couldn't tell what the monster
Interesting.
was.
No. It is a large gray yellow arm with spines.
How large?
Would
I
I?
don't know.
Big enough that the bowl was yay big. It took it in one hand easily.
Would that
Big as
small
a palm.
description and the stuff they were feeding it give me any indication of what that thing was?
Make a religion or nature roll with disadvantage.
That's fair.
Palm was probably, I don't know, 5 feet across?
5 feet.
Yeah.
And the spines, how long?
I don't know. Probably about a foot each.
Less inches.
Inches.
One's good. One's bad. 7.
7? Yeah, it's a big monster.
If I heard of anything with a palm 5 feet across.
Make a
spines.
religion or a nature roll with disadvantage.
Here we
Second
go.
hand knowledge.
Here we go. Dang. That'll be, I believe, a 15.
15.
Yes.
Based on the other descriptions Cassandra has told you, you would guess that's some kind of fiend, which might be the ones giving everybody else weird magic and spines and things. But that's I mean, it definitely could be something else as
That's
well.
lots of conjecture, but that's my specialty. It sounds to me like that's some sort of fiend that was summoned from the depths of the hells that they're made some sort of pact with to give them monstrous forms and magical powers.
Do fiends only come from hell?
I know that.
They also come from the abyss.
They also
And
come
the
from the
Shadowfell
abyss and the
sometimes.
Shadowfell sometimes, but
And other places,
in other places,
Hades,
you know.
Acheron, Gehenna, Carceri,
That
Pandemonium.
sounds plausible to me.
not from here, somewhere else.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Definitely like to investigate more at some point, but not this day.
Yeah, sounds like a problem for another day. So we can skirt around it. So we'll skirt around to the
Okay.
north.
I like them. They sound friendly.
I'm sure they are. Every individual we've ever met out here in the Isles is friendly.
I know. At their
Okay.
core.
So you skirt around kind of the northern ways around their hill in particular. You can notice here and there as you circle around the base of it. Cassandra, you'd seen this earlier, but it's more pronounced on this side. There have been trees that have been cut down here and there. Just to...
For wood.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you need wood for? I don't like fiends that eat wood.
The greater wood larva.
That's why you can't transport campfires.
Just
Campsite to
disgusting.
campsite.
Like a huge-sized creature that's just a larva.
Gross.
Huh.
Those exist.
I mean,
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
Gross.
The imaging is just.
It's called a purple worm, baby.
Oh fuck, that's true.
Purple
Alright.
worm larva? Gross as fuck.
So you just keep heading westward?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So you skirt around that, takes you a little while, probably 20 minutes or so, to skirt around the edge of that hill, and that sort of like cluster in general. You walk for roughly another 45 minutes,
Sure.
where you can see a little bit to your right, like to your 12:30 or so, a few more thin smoke columns rising from another cluster of hills.
Do we want to check those out?
Yeah, I think so.
Which way cardinally are we traveling right now?
West.
Due west?
Yes.
Great.
So we'd be heading, west by northwest vaguely to get to those other smoke columns.
Sure.
How far away?
Right now?
Yeah.
Maybe a mile. Not far.
Climbing up a tree. Can we see the road right now? Or anything that could resemble something?
Clambering up a tree from here, you can see to your 4 o'clock. The distance is the road, and you can also see now from here, where the road ends. There's something in the hills. It's hard to make out from the distance though. It's not just
Sure.
the same greenery.
That's sort of in the west still.
No, that's behind you. That's your 4 o'clock. That's
Oh.
Cassandra could tell you that's northwards and eastwards.
Weird.
Wait, what?
What the hell are we right now?
How far away roughly was that?
It seems like there's a lot past the road. It seems like the road isn't the end of the island necessarily.
We definitely saw the coast. And it definitely ends here. But I think we're just way further this way than we think we are. And this isn't the coast.
I assume we can't see a 2,000-foot tall spire.
No, it's in the middle of the mountains. We haven't reached the mountains yet.
No, that's true.
The mountains are in the distance. I mean, the base of the foothills that form the mountains.
Slap them anywhere.
Cassandra, you can tell the base of the the foothills that form the base of the mountains
Yeah.
are maybe only 5 miles from here. They're not far.
Sure.
And Kay, when you're coming to your tree, you can also see to your 9 o'clock. But to 9:30 is a sort of a small dark grayish pond, but you can see the dark gray now river flowing sort of along your whole left side.
Cool.
That
Yeah.
pond is probably 3-ish miles away.
That's this point. Right here.
The one that leads to Brotham.
Yeah.
So we saw something in the hills up to the.
Yeah, so it seems like the
Northeast.
road is in the wrong spot more than anything.
I think
Maybe.
you're in the wrong spot.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the road.
Because that was definitely this, right?
Yeah, that.
But it was
maybe.
That's
I
where
don't
the road
Probably.
ends. I mean,
Yeah, probably.
probably. It's just supposed to be down back
It's
there.
just supposed to be
Yeah.
right there.
I don't think so.
So.
Time to draw a new map. Honestly.
You can just redraw that page.
Yeah, this
I
page
think
is not
I'm gonna
that
cut
difficult.
this off.
You actually
Okay,
draw this
yeah.
island in Monarchia,
Yeah.
and the chains make it look sick.
Yeah.
Speak up, please.
Sorry.
We're
It's
just
okay.
discussing map making.
You
So
should,
do we
you
wanna-
should see if you can show the cameras at all.
We did.
All right.
Well, show them what you're talking about specifically right now.
Oh.
So specifically, I can't see the actual stream, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're good. You're
Talking
right angle.
about, so this is the thing that we think we saw a little smidge of. This is the road, but apparently this is behind us, and that's where I drew the thing that we just saw, the monster king. So we're thinking that this battle area's got to move about 10 miles this way, relatively, and this whole island is just a little bit skinnier. on that side. We thought, but we know that the road ends up here in the coast because there's a bridge, and we're trying to get sort of down here. So I think it's fucked.
Totally valid, considering I drew most of Fiorano. So, like, you know.
And you drew most of that when you were on the run from a gang of Yuan-Ti, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I drew the part that's wrong.
I gotta say,
That's not necessarily true.
It does fill my cold, cruel DM heart with pleasure that when you're running from Yuan-Ti, the map is even worse. Like there's a fun harmony there.
It's also a little harder for me because I move at 4 miles per hour no matter what. So distances are a little harder to judge. Yeah, it's rough.
Does that say gazebo?
Yeah.
Did y'all find a gazebo?
It was where
Agamemnon
was.
Agamemnon's hiding out in a gazebo?
They were. Not anymore, probably.
Oh.
They jumped into Rathdrum shortly afterwards.
Sweet.
No, not
Yuletide.
really.
It was.
We'll start heading towards the
a little
snow
sketchy.
Okay.
Get a third of a mile away again.
You're a little less than a mile away, so it doesn't take long before they grow into view.
Yeah.
How far do you want to stop?
Third of a mile again? Or
Third of a mile away.
Okay. Here, I mean, this whole area, like probably in roughly
Put on my
2-ish.
binoculars.
Just a brief bit of exposition. This whole area, probably in like a 2 miles-ish on a side area that you're now entered into, is just a little rougher, a little hillier, a little more treed. Just this whole area. So make me a perception roll.
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
22.
As you scan the distance, you can see again pinpricks of purple, orange, red, sort of near these smoke columns, again from the top of a wooded hill in the distance.
Seems like a similar type camp. Wouldn't be surprised if these two feud a lot, but...
Do you think it's just like an outpost of the same organization?
I mean, considering they're only like 2 miles away from each other, no.
I don't know, maybe there's some sort of natural resource.
How long were we walking since we saw the last one? Because it was 20 minutes to skirt, and then...
20 minutes to skirt, and then from kind of that skirting area, probably about another hour.
Yeah, so they're only about...
You're going at a normal pace, right?
Yeah. So they're only about 3.5 miles away from each other.
Do we see like any banners or anything?
Yeah, you can see those same
The
colored
same
banners.
ones?
I mean, like the same colors.
Same colors. Okay.
It seems weird to me that they'd have an outpost so close by. But
Unless it used to belong to somebody else and they took it over, or there's a specific natural resource here they're trying to mine out or something like that.
yeah,
Or it happens to be that their fiend lives here and they built the thing around it.
can't you just summon a fiend wherever you want?
I don't know how fiends work. I mean, I know a little bit about how fiends work, but not.
Yeah, I know you do.
I mean, I don't summon fiends. I mean, you never seen me summon a fiend.
Just because I've seen you contact them before.
Not fiends.
This thing's beyond good and evil.
Yeah, that's not fiends though. Fiends are like pretty evil, in my knowledge.
I mean, beyond good and evil, fiends, they're all in the same book, essentially. Anything on the outer planes is bad news.
Planar abominations.
I mean, that's like 99% of the time you're probably right.
Yeah.
I like to think I hit that 1% though.
I don't think you did, but
K
whatever.
is the 1%. Did I get that right?
Me and
Yes. Confirmed.
Do we care to scout this one as well?
I mean, if we're resting, what time is it?
So you've been traveling for not even that much, like close to 4.
Wow.
We're so fast. Thanks, Cassandra.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, I'd like to scout it.
Yeah. If you'd like, I don't particularly care.
Okay.
You can I can also just scout it on foot, really.
I mean,
If you
do whatever you think is best to get the best view of it.
I mean, best view is inarguably flying,
It's
but
true.
I don't know
Whatever you
what
want.
kind of resources you have available.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're okay.
Alright. Go for it.
Same deal.
Okay.
Your heart kind of like rises in your chest.
Yeah, I
Keeps-
fucking hate it.
Yeah, once again, you
the
have
entire
that
time,
strange
Cassandra's just like, fucking hate that so much.
cute Geralt. This is why I hate portals. Yeah, so you have that same disembodied sense of flying as you hurtle above. You spend a few minutes flying over. This is a very similar area. It's a little bit bigger than before, like 20 to 25 buildings this time.
Okay.
They have that same sort of like tiered, like close to 3 stories high central building. You can see again individuals walking around dressed in leathers and cloths with the same spines, claws, fangs, brow spikes, crests of spikes and things on their spine.
How many people?
Around probably, maybe you see, just quick guess, 35, maybe 40?
35, 40? Okay.
Yeah.
Any look at the big scaly arm again?
As you scan around that main central building, you can see it's got doors on a couple of sides.
No
Doors
windows?
do not open. No windows.
Understandable.
Just spikes and spines all the way up the sides. Thatched roofs, banners and flags and tassels and, not pendants. Bunting, that's what I'm looking for. Bunting at the sides.
Of course. The bunting.
Do the people generally skirt around this house, or do they walk close to it?
I mean, it's in the center of the town
but,
camp.
If you have to walk by it, do they do one of these, or do they just walk straight by it?
They just walk straight by it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually really good information.
Yeah.
They're on good
The
terms.
same strange effects with the torches that glimmer in different colors, smell of brimstone and ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any holes in the roof that I can peek in real fast?
There's a thin column of smoke coming off the rooftop, from that central like not quite spire, but a conical roof segment.
Sure. Nothing I can get a real quick look in though.
Closed doors all the way around.
Dang.
Try to jam your head down the smoke column.
Oh, you're tempting me,
Oh,
Sam.
dude.
You're tempting me. You really are. But I think I'll have to pass.
It's a giant, muscular fiend with the face of a normal man.
Sounds like a dumb drawing.
I really don't want to get down there and the fiend be like, okay, what's up?
Hi, I'm Fiend Larry. Have you met my brother, Fiend Barry?
Any
Just
important
saw his
people or
arm.
anything like that?
I mean, if people are dressed a little nicer than the other ones, they sort of just walk around.
Okay.
It's the same deal. Where the buildings here are probably half a step above the other ones. The crummiest ones here are a little nicer than the crummiest ones there.
Sure.
And the nicest ones here you can see are actually nice buildings, better than the last
So
chance.
the other one is probably the outpost. Got it.
See, I wrote Monster Camp 1 there, but that's going to be Monster Camp 2.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good. I'll fly back.
Okay.
Report. About 30, 35, 40 individuals, very similar setup. Likely that the other camp is actually outposted. These buildings are more well established. No indication of the creature on the inside, but it's a very similar setup, so I would be surprised if there isn't one.
Interesting.
No indication that it's actually there still. I couldn't look inside, and I'm not about to pick that door,
No, yeah.
because that seems like a bad idea, or
Yeah.
fly down that
Probably,
chimney.
Yeah, you'd yell at me if I tried to do that.
I certainly would. No individuals of significant ranking that I noticed, monstrous traits, etc., etc. Very similar. Very, very similar.
Interesting.
Alright.
Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah. So we'll skirt south this time.
Okay. You were a little south anyways. Remember how I said it's kind of to your 12:30?
Oh,
You kept being straight with it's
Yeah.
it's half a mile to your north.
So it was half a mile to our north. Yeah,
Yeah, roughly.
So we'll just
You know what I mean?
We'll
Yeah.
essentially just keep going.
Okay.
south
So keep heading west. Yes, you reach your 4-hour mark shortly afterwards. You walk for about another hour before these rolling grassy
then.
hills.
Oh, by the way, all of you can be looking for stuff like water and
Oh, we're
food.
going normal
Yeah.
spaces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look for.
We don't need food, right?
Yours will go bad most of your stuff actually won't go bad because it's not meat, but
Yeah, I also just threw most of it in the bag.
that's true.
So
Look for water.
I'll look for water.
yeah, water.
Sure.
Or,
Make me your foraging rolls.
That's a big old.
13.
13. Let me check my charts.
10?
13 is one of the ones where it's right in the line of because normally it's 17, okay fine, or it's 9, you're no. Here he is.
Pretty lush here. And it was rainy earlier.
Yes,
Harvested
you do.
few. Excellent.
That's a success.
11.
bring some.
Well, that is not a success, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just rang out my underwear into a cup. 6.
Yeah, what's the
How pristine are your underwear?
I mean, it's clear water. You can see the bottom of the cup.
Wow, that's impressive.
Kay wears robes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I like to imagine Kay just walks along and then just jumps and rips them off as he goes.
I just imagine Kate free balls 100% of the time.
Breezy. It's a little breezy down
I mean, what kind of wizard are you making if they wear underclothes? Every time your wizard takes off the robe, you should be in the danger zone.
See, I could buy a wizard wearing like a weak ass tank top, but no boxers.
That's fair.
Every time he goes flying, he's flashing everyone.
He flies into the air, he's bare, skinny ass.
I like to think your wizard wears like a graphic tank top as well. It's just like magical might or something.
Okay, what do you do?
We just
So like I said, for about an hour you reach sort of the base of these wooded foothills.
Yeah.
You can see the mountains are not too far away.
Yep. You just keep going.
Okay.
About every hour or so, or like, we'll climb a tree and see what's
Okay.
going
From here, like I said, that you can still see that river winding, probably 4-ish miles away.
Yep.
So you just head into these foothills.
Mm-hmm.
After about 45 minutes, the foothills escalate further into proper mountains.
Yeah.
Not like there's a hard barrier between them. And you can tell just looking ahead of you, even these whole mountains are low enough that the whole thing is in the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
They never get above, a couple thousand feet. So that was roughly the 5th hour. And so the 6th hour gets you into the mountains proper. As you walk for your 7th hour of travel, about 45 minutes, all the trees around you are dead.
Disappear.
They're just,
Oh god.
they're all just like gray and brown, and there's no leaves on the ground. There's no pines.
Do we
Clearly
reach
trees.
a hard line where that starts?
I mean, in the span of 2 minutes walking, yes. So I mean, like you stand here and it's like trees everywhere, and you walk for 2 minutes and it's dead trees everywhere.
Okay.
So there's a slight gradient to it, but not much.
Okay.
Sounds like we're near Barathrum.
Yep.
Seems like we're very close to Barathrum, so it might be a little more north on that map, just so you know.
This bad one? Yeah. I'm moving on.
Um,
It's got a river running into it, right?
yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. The river probably winds from
From the pond that you saw earlier, right?
from northwest to southeast.
What's so special about this?
It's
Well,
where the
that's-
imprisoned is kept.
At the bottom. But it's a bottomless pit, so I think we're good.
Yeah. Don't jump
Unless
in.
you have the Mind Hunter or the Moon's Bane or that other one that I don't remember the name of. Then you can apparently jump down it and be fine and speak to the imprisoned.
Sad news.
Yes.
That's what our friend Agamemnon's been up to.
Bro, just because you're a little newer, you know who the imprisoned is, right? You three should explain whatever you know about the imprisoned to Ro.
In prison's one of the paragons, right? Or
One of the betrayer.
one of the betrayer gods. Bad dude. As far as we know. I mean, the abandoned follow him. I don't know if he follows the abandoned back, but
Not really. As far as I can tell, the abandoned.
we're abandoned.
Yes, we're very much abandoned by Scipio, who I believe was very much in contact with the imprisoned at one point and has since dropped off the face of the earth.
It's kind of his MO.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back very soon. You know how it is. But he had the Mind Hunter before Agamemnon, so it's very reasonable that he was working very closely with the imprisoned, and maybe now isn't, because he no longer has the Mind Hunter, and he has Serenity instead. So, who knows? But yes, the
Just got
imprisoned
an
is
interview, so that's cool.
bad news. What?
I just got a text saying I got an interview, which is cool.
Shut
I'm sorry. I got through the last day. It's great.
Good for you.
We're all college students, BT dubs. Will is very close to graduating.
Yep.
Sorry, Will, I won't mention any further.
Yeah, no, I'm close to graduating and I don't have a job, so I'm about to become a bad statistic for the school.
Okay, yeah, so you've been traveling for about, what is that? Six and a half, a little less, close to 7 hours?
Yeah, we'll just keep going.
Keep west?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you walk for another 15, 20 minutes before you step out, and there is just a hard drop as you suddenly find yourself on the edge of an enormous, easily a mile across pit just descending straight downwards
Oh,
into complete and utter darkness.
that's the thing. Huh?
That's
I haven't
where
seen
I'm
this
from.
yet. Yeah, that's
Yeah, there it is.
You can see a
Yeah,
few
don't go
people
in.
around the rim,
That's
around the edge.
People?
Yeah. A few of them.
Good.
Dressed in dark clothing. Occasionally you see them like throw something in, like you can see glimmers of coins and other things.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, so right now you're basically like, if you mentioned northward it's 12 o'clock, you're on like the 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Around 4:35ish, you can see gray water just flowing straight down into it.
Cool.
Yep.
We're on what river? Sorry.
Roughly 3 o'clock. You're coming from straight west.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, and it's got our 5. Yeah, you were right. Kind
Yeah. Alright.
So
Well,
skirt around.
Don't bother anyone.
Yeah, don't.
Do not start any sort of trouble here. Agamemnon was very sincere in their warning of don't do that.
Are they men?
No.
They're just
They're other followers of the imprisoned. Likely maybe not just as dangerous as Agamemnon, but spilling blood this close to the home of the imprisoned,
Bad
not a
news.
good idea.
Bad news.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Especially yes.
I really want to throw something in, but I'm not gonna.
I mean, we don't have a body of a witch, so we probably shouldn't do that.
I was gonna like spit into it or something.
Don't.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just
Do you have a question?
watch it fall.
No,
This is what I got
just curious about all these things.
Body of the witch is in reference to the letter we got from the Shark Knights, stating that since we didn't do it, Agamemnon did it. They yeeted a necromancer into the bathroom.
Yeah, his name is Torvera. Kyron, you didn't meet Kyron, did you?
No, I
Yeah, blue elf guy. He was prickly. He was a prickly guy. He was looking for Torvera because apparently she killed all his friends and family and left him for dead or something. But he tracked her here, and then he died, and now she's dead. So all's well that ends well.
I'm sure that's the end
Yes.
of that. So we'll skirt around bathroom.
Okay.
West.
North side or south side?
Whichever, not the side with the river.
So north side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As you walk, you were getting closer and closer to a group of like 3 people
Okay.
along the edge of the pit itself.
Mhm.
You can hear them murmuring to themselves, chanting faintly. At one point, one of them takes a handful of silver coins and just tosses them in. As you get closer, one of them turns and looks at you. Young-looking man, sort of like not quite peach fuzz, but like close to it. Sort of bright-eyed, dressed in sort of like robes that you can tell are trying to be black, but are really closer to like just dark gray and brown, whatever you could find. Looks at you. Awate, granadas.
Esterling?
Esterling,
Yeah.
you.
You speak Dwarvish? I say in Dwarvish.
One of them looks up, and one of the women with him replies, "I do, yeah.
Alright.
You speak Dwarvish.
Yeah. We're just gonna be on our way. No trouble.
Are you also worshippers of the deep one, of the true believer?"
No, not really. We're just kind of passing through.
Oh, all right. Well, best of fortunes on your
Yeah.
travels.
Thanks.
You too.
One question, sorry. Do the people in the east also worship?
No,
Oh,
they don't.
but you do.
No, I just said I didn't.
Oh. All right. Well, as I said, best of fortunes.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
What were you up to?
So you keep skirting around. Are you just trying to head straight west again?
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes you a little time to get around. 20 minutes, half an hour. You really only have about 45 minutes left to travel today.
Sure.
You just head straight west.
Yep.
Okay. Head
Trying
straight
to get
west.
out of the dead ring.
Yeah. After about 20 minutes, you make it out of the ring of dead trees into
Good.
the proper, just wooded mountains. This area you can tell is a little more deciduous. There's more like spreading like yew and apple trees and things around. I don't know what not apple trees. I don't know what kind of mountainous deciduous trees there are.
Can we see?
Well, pines are.
Pines are coniferous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, because they're the cones. Coniferous.
Nope.
Sure.
Can we see the spire?
I'm playing a 20-minute character.
You climb up a tree. There's just a lot of mountains around you.
We should be reasonably close. I believe last time I headed straight west from Barathrum. So,
Sure,
vaguely,
we'll see it.
we'll find
Probably.
You said it's 2,000 feet tall, right?
it. I mean, most of the mountains are
Worst
about
case, I can
50
just
tall,
fly
so,
up and-
so
Yeah. I mean, we'd be hard pressed to miss this. All I'm saying.
I mean, it's pretty thin.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the end of our travel.
Yeah, for today.
All right. Find a secluded spot.
Okay. Make me a survival roll.
10.
10. Okay. Yeah, so you find a spot where it's like a little better than normal, not much. So you've been traveling for 8 hours plus 20, 30 minutes of you flying in and around, plus some time taking in trees, probably 8.5 hours from start. Sunrise at 7:30, which gets you to 8, so about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Cool. Start setting snares.
Okay, make me another survival roll.
23.
Okay, yeah. How far away?
Probably about 100 feet.
Okay.
Start setting alarms.
Okay, same distance?
Yep.
Okay. Anything you two want to be doing this time?
Actually, yeah. I'm going to polymorph into a giant eagle.
Okay.
And just fly around the area.
Okay.
I'm not going to go too far.
Yeah, so flying around, you can now see with your added height to the right of where you were traveling, a few miles away, you can see near one of the tops of the mountains is this dark, sort of slightly glimmering black spike rising into the air.
To the right?
To the right of where you're traveling, yeah.
To
Far
the
right
right,
is the way?
like cardinally to the right.
Like we're going west, it's to the right, so it's north. Okay.
How far away?
How far away?
Make me an intelligence-based perception roll using an eagle's intelligence, which I believe is 8, I want to say?
Yeah, I think it's 8, yeah.
Let me quickly double check.
That's good.
Eagles might have a bonus on perception, though. And you're a giant eagle, yeah?
Yeah.
They have advantage in perception that relies on their eyes.
Do they?
Well, that's a
Yes.
really good roll. That's not as good.
Yeah, that's right. Keen sight.
What's the...
Plus 4 perception, int is -1, so plus 3 net.
Okay, 21.
21, Jesus. All right. You can tell this is a little less than 3 miles away from where you are.
Nice. Nice and close. Can I see figure on the top from where I am?
Yeah, with your eagle eyes, you actually can. You can see right at the very top is some kind of figure.
Cool.
It's close to. It's actually very close to where the mountains give way back down into foothills on the far side.
Oh.
It's texting me.
Oh, this way.
It's my mom.
I did try. Are we good on food and water?
Should be.
We're good on water, we're on food, so...
You got 6 gallons of water, right?
6
Yeah, so you're good on water.
Right, I will squat down and meditate while everything else is going on.
Make me a wisdom check.
Doesn't help
Alright.
with hands. What a dick.
15.
It takes a while for you to like normally you can reach sort of a meditative state in seconds, if not 30 seconds. This takes you minutes. You're just restless. It's hard to get your focus. It's hard to empty your mind. It's hard to really do anything properly. Your mind just bounces around.
That's something important to note, probably.
General regional effect is fine.
Yeah, it's almost like we're by a big ass.
Nasty hole.
Yeah, nasty hole.
Jesus.
Because of the hole or because of the hole?
I just stay flying for a full hour.
Okay.
Do I know why it takes a while for me?
You tell me.
Alright.
He's got an itch on his leg when he's every time. He's like, motherfucker. So itchy.
Imprisoned. God of ages.
That's why you sacrifice witches to it.
That's close enough.
God damn.
Alright. So, Kale also set up the hut eventually.
Okay.
When are we going to sleep?
It's about 5 o'clock by the time you guys all finish your various activities.
Same time.
9 and 20, so 4 minutes. So.
If you're going to bed at the same time, it'd be 5 minutes.
Yep.
Mean
Role
DM.
play isn't like a bad thing.
Yeah, I know.
That was
But Will, it stops our time from getting XP.
I don't need more XP.
a referee. Facetious gasp.
That's a good reference.
You.
All right. As you all hunker down for camp, timer starting now.
Cassandra setting up the camp. Time starting this whole thing.
Is Dendro still restless? Or is he still trying to get in the groove?
No, at this point I've stopped it.
You seemed restless earlier, Dendro. It's almost like I noticed things.
Concentration seemed a bit off. It's a lot more difficult to get into a meditative state.
Do you know why?
If I had to guess, probably because the big evil only passed has something to do with it. I can't say for certain.
Makes sense. Interesting that has that kind of effect on a mind.
Especially since we're out of the dead tree ring.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's just for...
Big creatures tend to have significant effects on things.
Mm-hmm.
That black dragon down in the south, its entire valley is filled with fog, and it's several miles long, several miles wide.
like where the nasty stuff is.
I guess.
Big pile of fog, big hole in the ground.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose so.
It's good that something big and nasty ain't gonna sneak up on us in the middle of the night, right?
That's not mutually
He knocks
exclusive.
on the tree.
Last time we were in this area,
Why'd you just knock on that tree?
Huh?
Why'd you just knock on that?
Superstition. So the thing that I said
What?
implied wouldn't happen, won't happen.
I think the
Because
phrase
said-
is knock on wood.
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
never
knock
heard
on
of that
wood.
in my life.
Yeah, when we say like, oh,
Passing.
I hope a meteor doesn't come down and crush us all.
Knock on
And
wood.
like that is kind of inviting, it's tempting fate, right? So you
Where
knock
did that
on
come
wood.
from?
I don't know.
You know.
Where it came from?
Yeah.
People have been doing it for as long as I've heard.
You talking about the phrase "knock on wood"?
Yeah.
It's Druidic in origin. It's what Druids do.
Makes sense. Druidic in origin. I'm not sure exactly
Why did you?
where it came from, but
You should ask Crimson about that.
I mean, druids might be actually asking something. You know, be like, hey, knocking on the wood without speaking conveys to the trees, hey, help me out here. Kind of just made a boo-boo in my speech.
Can druids just talk naturally to trees? Don't they need spells to do
Isn't
that?
that the only thing druids do? No, I'm kidding.
Don't they need like a spell to do that or
I mean,
something?
they're more in tune, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
I'm not sure. They have their own language, but I don't know what the depths of that language are.
I don't know, but it's really annoying when I'm up in a tree and someone knocks on it. It messes with my
Has that happened to you ever?
Like the
More times than you might think.
I mean, one is more time than I would ever expect. So,
Then, more than that.
what happened after that? After they woke you up from your did they see you?
No, not really.
So you just knocked on your tree, they woke you up, and you just did nothing.
I mean, when you're in the zone,
I mean, he just said his concentration was disrupted, though.
yeah, when you're
Just
in
go
the zone,
back to it.
any sort of little vibration in the tree, you feel that in your hiding.
Who knocked on your tree?
Travelers, probably.
Were you right next to the road?
I don't know where I've traveled for all these years.
What?
Dendro can't see roads. Confirmed.
Probably a couple times.
How many times has this happened?
There's also birds that do that. Pretty birds.
That's true.
Trying to
But there's
buzz
a
out
difference.
But
you
he
know.
said it was a traveler.
trees. Birds travel.
That's not how that works.
Probably a few times.
Did
I
you, like,
don't really keep track.
you just like get knocked out and go right back in, just not look around?
What?
You got knocked out of your trance and you just went right back into it and just didn't look around. That's what you're saying.
I could just look down, see if
Surprised
there
you
was
didn't
someone.
look down.
I mean, I did look down.
Oh.
I would be like, God damn it, and then I would go back.
That's not very safe.
Okay.
He's in the trees.
I mean, was this off of like major roads?
He just said he doesn't know
Oh,
where
that's
he's
true.
traveled.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Mm.
I don't know what that means. How do you not know where you've traveled?
Well,
Is it
I
more
might
you
have
don't
known
know-
at the time, but
You've forgotten?
Dendro,
Yes.
how old are you?
121.
See, I wouldn't know a damn thing about what happened like 50 years ago.
I mean,
I was traveling for. Is
elves have different minds. They can remember things better.
that true?
I mean, that's why elves tend to be wizards.
That is true.
What?
They remember things more easily. They're more adept at long lives than humans are. That's why I can't remember shit in this new body of mine.
Really in the moment?
Hmm?
So you're really in the moment though?
No. I just don't think as clearly. Because Dragonborn only live, 2/3 the life of a human.
Oh,
Plus being a wizard can be really time consuming from
that's true.
so
It
My
can be
life's-
time consuming. Are you saying I'm wasting my life? I'm kidding.
I mean,
Do I have to answer that?
Yeah, who knows? I mean,
yeah, I can't answer that. I don't know.
You climb trees a lot, you fall down a lot, knock your head a couple times, suddenly your memory's not as good as it used to be. It happens. It happens.
In such a long life, it must.
Statistically speaking.
Unless you don't fall.
It's true. I mean, you seem to be pretty dexterous. I'm surprised.
In my younger years, I was not as.
Younger years. Isn't 100 equivalent to like a 21-year-old?
younger is a relative term.
Has your body already started to deteriorate?
No.
So you're at your prime now, but you were actually at your prime when you were 15. In human
Oh wait,
years.
was this when you were just learning? You mean, not so much.
Kind of. It was.
The prime is just bigger. It's just a bigger range, right?
I don't know. I'm not an elf.
I mean, you seem to know a lot about how elves and wizards interrelate, whatever.
Just making observations.
Big prime, right? Like
Yes.
15 to like 300.
This is start 15.
I don't know.
Would I feel something like that?
Would you like to consult the PHB?
Right.
I don't know when elves reach maturity.
It's
At 100.
Oh really?
Is it actually?
Yeah.
They are considered a child until they reach 100.
By
They reach
elves.
physical maturity when they're like 60 or something like that.
Oh, wait.
You're too
That-
far.
Oh, yeah,
specify?
there's like
Oh,
elf
here in
kids
front.
that are like 50 years old.
Yes.
That's whack.
Whack. All right. Well, Rhoda's research night settles in. I presume you're keeping watch again.
Yep.
All right.
Another.
Dendro, you're first on watch.
Yeah.
He's too busy looking up elf lore, saying.
When did my body start changing?
Reach physical maturity at about the same age as humans.
Not so lucky.
And understanding. Means adulthood at around 100.
So you're like 18 for a century. Weird.
Oh, brutal.
That'd be a little rough
I tried
if
to
you
make
had, like,
myself.
50-year-old
So
elf
when I was
children.
making Dendro, I was like, all right, what's like the? How can I make an elf seem like 21? So I just like. did
Out of
the
100.
math.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I mapped
So,
it.
Dendro, during your watch, you look down for a second to adjust your belt or something, and look up, and you can see a shape that I don't think you've ever seen before. In front of the hut, a monstrous, enormous black dog.
Yes, bitch, he's back!
I immediately wake everybody up without trying to
You
make
can
too much
see
noise.
in this dog's mouth is a chunk of meat just got hanging in its mouth. Sort of just worrying at it. So you wake everybody up?
Mhm.
Okay.
What?
There's a
How
giant
close is it to that?
beast
10 feet away?
outside,
Oh.
and I have no idea.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This
What's
is-
that mean?
We've seen that.
So for reference, this dog is about the size of a horse. All black, sort of pointed ears. That meat, make me a nature roll. At
Nature?
disadvantage because you can't see in the dark.
Can I make that? Can I check?
Sure, you make a nature roll, absolutely.
KK making nature.
Sure.
As in, ain't good.
I'm not even gonna try.
13.
7.
Oh, is this? If it's humanoid, would I have advantage identifying the meat?
This is a dog.
I mean, the meat. If it's humanoid.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
That's human meat.
Because.
Not in this case, no.
I don't know that meat
Sorry.
anywhere.
That's fair.
That's still information.
What'd you get?
13.
13. As you look at it, it's hard to tell. Like, it looks like just like animal meat, like you get off like venison or, like pork or something, but
Oh, I thought we were rolling for the dog.
you're rolling for the meat in its mouth.
Okay, cool.
It's a dog. It's a big dog. You know what it is.
Dog, but like,
Before.
it's obviously dogs don't get big like that. So what the hell's going on with this dog?
You've seen this thing.
Just sits there
Yeah.
on the meat
I
for
know
ways.
about it. I haven't seen it.
So eventually it sort of like lies down, slaps me down, and starts eating it.
Hey,
buddy.
hey, you. What are you doing here?
Just like you.
You want something? Little Timmy stuck in the well?
Goes back to its meat.
You've seen this dog before, right?
Yeah, we
I haven't seen it.
It's-
Frog saw it. I think Wolford saw
Wait,
it.
has Kay never seen the black dog?
No, Kay's never seen it. Kay's only heard secondhand. And I also heard of it on my way here. Apparently there was some sailor that was on the boat that I was on that was in hysterics over it. They thought they saw a black dog like in the surf chasing the boat or something. So I don't know, maybe it's my dog. Hey, you know me? That's a yes.
No, it's not.
Goes back to eating.
For reference, my first character, Wolford, saw this dog 3 fucking times.
I don't know if it's ever gotten this close to us before, though.
I don't think it's never
So
interacted.
what is it?
Yeah,
It's just
no.
a big black dog.
I mean, certainly looks like Big Black Dog.
What did you hear about this dog?
Yeah, I didn't hear much of anything about the dog, honestly. Didn't have much to say about
Nothing. It's just a mysterious
Your
dog.
reaction was, oh my.
it. Appeared, disappeared.
Are there
Apparently, he was
any-
following both
Are
that
there any
appeared.
myths or stories about a large black dog? Just like
Make me a history check.
fucking rolls it. Shit. 14.
Black dogs occasionally show up in like sort of like children's tales usually. They usually are one of two things, which is either they're like an omen, like they're a sign of something bad that's about to go down, or like a child will somehow pick up a big black dog as its companion and nobody knows where it comes from and it always freaks their parents out.
Interesting.
You want us to like? Are you talking to the dog? You want us to like follow you or something? Once you're done eating.
Man, I wish we could talk.
Do you want me to follow this dog?
I mean,
Yeah.
it might be pretty interesting.
I mean,
it's never
it's-
interacted with us before,
Sure.
so this might be a chance we might want to take advantage of.
I mean, does it speak any other languages? You don't speak this. You speak Sylvan? It's Sylvan. Primordial?
It's a dog.
I mean, I don't know. It's a giant dog. You've never seen a dog this big before. I don't know what it's capable of.
I've never seen a bird that big, but rocks exist. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what languages rocks can either.
They don't.
Yeah, I know.
It's almost finished with its meat.
Might be running out of time once it finishes this meeting.
Better than you are.
I mean, we can step out of the hut and see what it does.
Do we want to bother with this thing?
I mean, it's been following us around, I think.
It might be worth it to just take the opportunity. We don't need
Cassandra
to.
pulls the lamp out of the bag,
Okay.
puts some oil in it, lights it,
Okay.
clips it on her belt.
Okay.
Alright. She rubs her hand on her pants and casts on Strider unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
Strange.
She does all the components necessary.
Do we see like a magical effect taking place, or is it just
No.
like
You just see some dirt come off her pants. And you kind of hear like, oh, fuck. Alright.
Swearing is verbal components? Hell yeah.
She kind of like does this with her arms for the somatic components. Alright. I should be able to keep up with this dog, no problem. And track it. I mean, it's fucking huge. So unless it doesn't leave paw prints.
Okay.
Alright. So I step out of the hut,
Okay.
looking at this thing.
Okay.
I guess whenever you're ready.
Done the last of its meat. Looks at you.
Lead the way. Like trying to pet it.
You scratch its head.
Does it have like a collar? I don't know.
Nope.
throw out some more of the meat you found?
No.
Just don't think so.
Looking at the body of this thing, is it just a big ass dog,
Yep.
or is
Just
it
a big
like-
dog.
Okay.
Like imagine you took a dog, like a big
Like a
like a Rottweiler. Not quite like a Rottweiler, but like you took
like
like
a wolfhound, like an Irish wolfhound.
no, it's not that long and skinny. It's bigger and huskier than that.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be like the size of like. Are Vicious skinny as well?
No, they're red.
I don't remember what a Vicious looks like. Anyway, it's like a big dog, like a Rottweiler or a Mastiff or an Alsatian or something along those lines. And just imagine you took all that and multiplied everything by 2.
Jeez. No.
Yeah, so like you put your hand on its head and like its head is bigger than your hand.
Does it like wag its tail?
You scratch it. I mean, you're scratching it? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, its tail wags a little bit.
Should try riding it.
No.
I kind of want to ride it.
Just look
Feel
at you.
free. I'm not going to.
Go ahead. And do it.
Too high, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna climb on top of the dog if it lets me.
Okay. I mean, it's still lying down right now, so you can get on. I mean, it's.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna.
like-
okay. It's
I mean,
just,
it's lying down right now, right?
Okay.
Which means you can get on its back. Normally, it's too tall. It's a dog the size of a horse, right?
that's
Like,
fair.
I mean, you can get on top of a horse.
not if it doesn't want you to.
That's fair.
All right. I'll just try and climb on its back.
Yeah, it's coming back. Kind of looks at you. As Wilavor gets on its back, it stands up, looks at you, just laps at your face, just dog slobber all up aside, and turns and starts walking into the dark woods.
Yes, go.
We found? I found it out.
Wilavor hasn't had his watch yet. Is the problem here?
Oh.
It's only about 11:30 at night. It's not that late.
I mean, you know, opportunity. We can take it or we can waste it. It's up to you guys.
In case that's out of yes.
I'll
Okay.
take out my sunlight so I can.
Okay. As the sunlight flares to life, the dog turns and looks at you. And just growls low in its throat.
Alright, I'll put it away.
How was he down the
The drip globe lights up, looks to you two.
Jones.
Is it a fan of my light?
Doesn't mind your lantern.
Alright, well, that doesn't bode well. Anti-magic dog.
You don't seem to mind.
Didn't hate the fight.
It's almost like he was trying to bait us out of the
He was like walking alongside his dog now.
Okay, yeah. So the dog, as it turns, Cassandra, you can tell, it's leading you pretty straight eastward.
eastward.
Oh.
This dog is leading us east, just so you know.
Baratheon, right?
Yes.
Oh, you think this is Agamemnon's dog? Probably not.
Does Agamemnon have dogs?
I mean, I don't know what they've been up to.
They did, but those are in town.
Oh,
Those dogs
yeah.
are still around. Baxter and Sapphire are still here.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty
Baxter,
sad.
not Baxter.
It's definitely not them.
We should get off this dog. I have no interest in following this dog into Baratheon.
I'm not gonna jump in, but okay.
It's also removing some of the progress we made during the day, which I'm not a fan of.
That's-
Like, we shouldn't have an issue finding the spire, but
Oh, little Timmy is trapped in the well. Just kidding. Get off, dog, man.
I mean, it's up to Wilavor. He's the one on the dog.
Get off,
Pretty
get off.
fluffy dog.
I mean, so on this dog, I mean, it's like it's hard to straddle this dog. It's so wide.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like sitting on top of it more than anything. I mean, it's got like thick, warm fur. It's real warm. You can feel it, just its muscles moving. You can feel anytime it barks or growls. You can feel it vibrating. It's just like a big, warm dog.
You two seemed very concerned about this dog and its greater implications in Isles.
I mean, he's been following us around. As
I
far
just
as
wanted to
know,
get
following me
answers
here.
because we've seen it so many times. But if it's going towards Baratheon, then
I mean, east is a large direction.
that's true.
We're going to hit Baratheon though.
How far away was the edge of like the?
It's about 2 and 3/4 miles. 2.5 miles, about.
We should just get off.
I mean, Spider's not that far away, right?
No, I saw 3 miles north.
So
I have no interest in sleeping near Baratheon though.
Ouch.
Oh, that's fair. Yep. All right. Just gonna.
We can get out, but you might be a little tired afterwards.
Conserve my energy.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
Okay.
go upstairs to the spire.
Ripped gentleman.
I'll just pet the head of the dog. I can't reach the head of the dog.
You could scoot forward and do it.
Pet the head of the dog. I'm sorry, buddy.
I can move faster than all of you. I can keep up with this. I can keep following it if you want. I don't need to conserve my energy. I will be fine tomorrow no matter what.
Okay. I can hop off the dog.
Okay. As you hop off, it looks at you.
Sorry, bud.
Reaches one paw and it like puts its paw on your shoulder. Bear in mind, this paw is easily the size of your head, and just starts pushing downwards. Just like shove you over.
Oh. Oh.
You gonna let it?
He's playing.
Just gonna play like shove back a little bit.
Make me an athletics check.
All right. Oh, damn. 9.
9. Yeah, you're just pushed down to the ground, and the dog reaches down and just grabs like your backpack, the whole like your whole backside, cloak, robe, everything, and just hoists you up in its mouth, like a dog carrying a puppy,
Yeah.
and keeps walking with you.
No, buddy, please. Please don't. I can't open this jaw.
You can make an animal handling roll if you'd like to.
That's true.
Might as well.
Let's go for it.
They're
It's
so
not
rare.
very often, yeah.
Okay. Make me an animal handling roll.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But it's wisdom based, so 15.
15. What do you do exactly?
Man, that's a good question. I just start like, I don't know, like,
Yeah, like
Bear in mind you are being hung by your back, like, like the
Yeah.
tips of your fingers scrape the ground occasionally.
Yeah, I was trying to like reach up, kind of like rub its jaws, and try to like push its the top part of its jaw up a little
Okay.
bit.
Push the jaw and then just kind of like drops you, just covered in dog slobber. So you
I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, bud.
Move.
I'm gonna start
turn and walk
walking
back. It
back.
just kind of like watches you falls and as you go. And then it turns and keep walking into the darkness.
It was disappointing.
Well, that was something.
Are you gonna follow it or not?
You want me to?
I mean, I do. I don't want to follow it, but I don't want
I mean, I still want to ride it, but like, it's not worth it.
I'll follow the dog.
Okay. How close?
Like
Like right alongside it or like a ways behind?
a little ways behind. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
How far?
Right alongside it. Like, I'm not hidden from this thing. I have
Okay.
a big ass lantern on me.
Okay.
Like 60-60 light. Like, it's gonna see me.
So you follow it for a while. The three of you, what are you doing?
I guess we just wait
We're
here.
gonna stay here. I'm gonna put her back.
Yeah, but
Keep
the-
going with your rest.
Yeah. Head up. And
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. So you keep walking. You follow it for. It's not going very fast.
Like a slow pace.
Like a regular pace through mountains. It's not a ranger.
Probably.
You're not really in its party. You're following it.
I guess that's fair. Can I point out to the dog again? Don't do that. Go this way.
So over the course of about, you follow for about an hour,
Woof.
and then 2. Midway through that second hour, you start noticing all the trees have died in this area. As it gets closer and closer and closer, so eventually you stand on the edge of the great pit. The dog looks at you.
Yeah, it's a pit. Yeah. Something you need to show me or something? I'm not going in there.
Circles around, so
No,
like
not letting that
okay,
happen.
you just circle. So you and this dog end up just sort of like circling each other for a while. So eventually just sits down on its haunches.
Yeah, we know there are bad things in there. We're already aware of that. Thanks. Yeah, I know. This is why I'm not a dog person, frankly, because dogs are just stupid. They get taken over by imprisonment. Yeah, I know. Cats don't do this. She starts walking back.
Okay. The dog barks after you and lets you go.
Yeah, I just go.
Yeah, so it takes you only about 40 minutes to return, but... So you will not be getting the benefits of a long rest tonight.
Unless we extend it a little bit.
Yeah, about like 3 hours.
We're not doing anything.
Okay.
I mean, didn't take any damage. I'll just be exhausted. And that's whatever. Yeah,
It's your call.
I don't care.
I mean, we can go through more hours. Like,
Okay. So you return to camp. The rest of the night passes without incident. I think as the sun rises, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in 15-20 minutes. Don't go away, viewers. We love you dearly. And we will see you shortly. back to the Western Isles Dungeons & Dragons stream. My name is Sam Sorensen. I am the Dungeon Master of this here Dungeons & Dragons stream.
Yeah, that's trademark.
Yeah, we openly acknowledge that we didn't write D&D. I just wrote like
I wrote
5% of the rules we did. Dominic Liotti, creator of Dungeons & Dragons, here with us today.
In 5 minutes.
Dom is actually Chris Perkins in disguise.
It was due at 11:59. That's 11:59 in 0 seconds. Some people.
So the party-
learn that the hard way.
The party today is
Shit.
they've been in the mountains for a while. They recently Wilavor briefly rode a large spooky dog, which then
Nice boys.
He was
Cassandra-
pretty nice.
is a big black dog that only appears at night.
You don't know.
His name's Buddy, by the way. I slept on it, and I decided on Buddy.
Buddy the dog.
Since Cassandra can't come into the hut in the morning, she informs you.
I had the 4th watch, so I remade it.
You no, you didn't have to,
Oh, well,
because if
you're
you
cold.
the dog was going to push me into bathroom.
Oh, well, he probably wanted you to kill the imprisoned. What a good boy.
You're lucky I didn't cut that dog in half. I should
I
have.
mean, dog's lucky you didn't cut the dog in half.
The only reason I didn't was because I wasn't sure I'd be able to get through it in one slice.
Oh.
And if I didn't, that means I was probably going in the hole.
Yeah, most likely.
So,
Probably. Well, it's good that you're not in bathroom.
yeah. So don't trust that dog. Don't follow that dog. Don't listen to that dog ever.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay.
Good. So we're going north?
More of a cat person anyway. Yeah, going north.
Yeah. Cats are vastly superior in every single way. Don't ever get dogs. Dogs fucking suck.
Who's your favorite girl in the Western Isles? Cassandra, number 4. I fucking hate dogs. Cassandra, number 12.
How far did we follow the dog
Okay,
before?
Not far.
Carl
Okay.
and covers his ears.
Yeah.
So straight north.
Yeah, north. Normal pace, you know. Am I exhausted yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just want to be sure.
Yeah, so you march north for a little less than an hour. Rather, it only takes about 20 minutes before you can see, peeking out between 2 other sort of rises of mountains is the Black Spike. And for about 50 minutes you reach the base. You can see, as before, there is a sort of like a circular stone base with walls, like a small castle almost.
Mm-hmm.
But then from within these walls, the spire rises 1,000 feet into the air.
Alright, well.
It's really tall.
Yes.
Yep. So
How thin is it? Like,
base.
It's about 100 feet across the base.
It is a point at the top.
So we get close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The walls around them, you can see around it are crumbled and ancient. You can see they're breaking down. The towers are barely intact.
Does it look about 2,000 feet high-ish, or a couple thousand? Somewhere between the two?
You can make an intelligence-based perception roll if you would like to.
Do intelligence-based perception. Better.
I would also like to do that.
Okay.
15.
15.
Not better than that.
Wilavor, you're feeling it's actually closer to about 1,000 feet high.
Easier then. Cool.
Alright, well.
so we have a couple of ways to get up there. I assume you were trying to get up there, right?
Flying is almost certainly the best way.
Certainly. I would agree. I do have a little something I've been working on that may be of use to us here. I can make sort of a double of myself, and then sort of do the thing that I do with Carl, where I go and look through his eyes, but with a double of myself, and I could send it straight up there
Okay.
and talk to it and see
Yeah.
if scope it out. You know.
I imagine these two want to be in the conversation, though.
Sure. I mean, in case we wanted to play it super safe and have nobody up there at the time.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But if you really
Definitely
feel,
safer
we could
option.
also at least 3 of us could fly up there.
I'm fine down here.
Okay.
I have no interest in talking to this individual, frankly.
If we all want to head up, then that's fine.
So, I mean, those are options. You could just send a double up, or all 3 of us could fly up.
What do you think we should do?
I think there's pros and cons to each. Flying, all 3 of us get to have in on the conversation. See him if he's friendly, that'd be a good thing. If he's not friendly, we're all up there and probably kick all our asses in about 5 seconds. And then we'd all fall to our deaths. He might see it as an affront to his sensibilities if I sent an illusory copy of myself to go talk to him. But I don't know. Maybe real recognize real sort of thing. Say, oh, you can cast that spell. You must be some sort of...
Do you think that man's a spellcaster?
I don't know. He's sitting on top of the thing.
I mean,
That's really high up.
I don't get those
He's been around.
kind of vibes from him, but maybe, I don't know.
He's been
I
around,
also
for
haven't
sure.
seen him directly, so I'm just going off secondhand knowledge.
If we send your illusion up, and just for example, he can't speak a language that you speak, are you able to tongue read a word? Do you use that spell where you can understand anything and then understand it through the illusion?
I mean, he's a human, isn't he? Is he? I don't know.
We don't know.
It's just a
Didn't we
I
see
could
him
try
last time?
talking to
I
him
mean, he looked human,
telepathically.
yeah, I think, but like we don't know necessarily what he speaks.
I could try talking to him telepathically.
Oh.
Probably,
Probably should
Not
do
the
that
best
the first thing.
some people might consider that rude.
I could indicate to him that that's what I'm doing.
Is Dendro aware of the high-level monk abilities?
Legends, probably.
Because there's one here that might be relevant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tongue of the sun.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I also do speak
Wait, are we
quite a
not-
few languages. So.
Are you not talking about open palms?
It's a general monk ability.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I imagine he'll speak something we speak eventually.
Most likely, yeah.
But
If he is a monk and a powerful one, then there's a good chance we could probably speak to him, and he can probably speak to us.
So, sounds like the plan is to send a double up.
and if that goes well, just send up the rest of you, or
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
In the meantime, I will hide.
Maybe a stealth check.
I will not.
20.
Duck down behind some
That is not good enough.
bro.
Is what that is.
Let me just look up the specifics of this spell, because I am almost certain it doesn't say anything about the
I think it can fly.
I mean, why
I mean,
wouldn't it be?
Yeah,
It says
it's
you
an
can
illusion.
move it
Yeah,
up
it's
to
an illusion.
double
So
your
I think
speed,
you
so
can
I
fly. I think it can
I
fly.
did not know that was a ability.
Yeah. It's a weird one. Monks get an ability every single level, so they have to give them some weird shit.
Yeah, it's monks and rogues and fighters. I think they're available.
Fighters don't. I also don't think rogues do.
Well, fighters get something every level.
Yeah,
but-
I think rogues
they?
also get
Yeah,
something every level.
Do they?
something every level.
I thought so. I mean, for
I don't know about
like
rogues,
one of the
but
rogue ones
fighters
like
do.
more expertises, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, or like sneak attack.
I mean,
dice.
fighters
Yeah.
need to get something
No,
every
I
level,
think.
because
I mean, I think they
otherwise-
always get sneak attack dice, and they always get something else too.
They don't always get sneak. It's every other level.
Oh yeah, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah, rogues get something every level.
Oh, weird.
Anyway,
Cool.
so you cast mislead.
Yeah, so Case sort of just sits down in a sort of out of the way spot. I mean, we're like right up against the wall at this point, right? So he'll just sit up against the wall. It's like, I'm gonna disappear in a second, nobody panic.
I'm
And
gonna
then-
kill you when you disappear.
Cast the spell, doesn't disappear. And then Case stands up and says, well, off I go up the tower. And
You didn't disappear.
what?
You didn't disappear.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm still right there.
Touch his face.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ha, that tickles. Just kidding, I can't feel that.
No, I was touching your invisible body.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that, and it doesn't tickle. Yeah, alright, off I go.
Okay.
As he goes up, I'm just kind of like, magic is fucking weird.
As he's walking away,
Is that not
don't let
cool?
anybody like hit me or anything, or else this thing's gonna go away. You know the deal.
I think he was talking to you.
Why?
No, I'm.
It's almost like all three of us are standing here protecting his body.
Which is invisible. Yeah, so okay, we'll just fucking walk
Okay.
up the tower.
Okay. Okay, walks up the tower. Takes you a minute or two.
Walk. Okay.
As you reach the top, you can see now the figure atop it.
It's like right on top,
Mhm.
right, at a point.
Yeah. So the whole thing tapers into a point.
So I'll stop like 5 feet away, or 10 feet away from him.
Okay.
Like down the tower, just
He's
like
like floating
talking.
above it, right?
So this figure stands currently 1 foot arced straight downwards, almost like a ballerina. 1 toe resting on the tip of the spire. They stand otherwise. They have their arms just folded in front of them. 1 foot is like sort of like a yoga pose. It's like jutting outside. The foot pressed against their knee.
What do they look like physically?
They are dressed in sort of like strips of white and gray and sort of like beige tan cloth, just wrapped all over them. Sort of like they have this like flapping, almost tasseled appearance. You can see a hood drawn, some sort of, they clearly have a face beneath it. You just can't quite make out the details from here.
Sure. Free lore! So, Kay, standing perpendicular to the tower, looking straight up at this guy. Excuse me? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, my name is Kay. I'm from way far east. We saw your tower, and you're sitting up here in a real imposing way, so we thought we'd come say hi, see how you're doing, see if we can't be friends.
I do not mean to impose.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. I mean, to be completely honest, you look real cool standing up here. You look like you've been around. So if you could just come say hi.
The figure turns and looks at you. You can see now it's like a human. Looks like they're probably in their 50s. Sort of like a deep brown skin, sort of like a tan, darker than tan, but you know what I mean. Lighter brown skin.
Baked.
Looks at
He
you.
is speaking Esterling.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. If you would like to speak to me, come speak to me.
Real recognize real. Be right back. Okay, walks down the tower.
So what's up? Other than you.
Yeah, he seems really cool actually. He wanted so firstly, he super calm, didn't want to impose or anything. Told me that if I wanted to come talk to him, I should come talk to him. Which I think mission success.
Seems like it could be very easily be an ambush.
Yeah, he didn't seem like the ambushing type. He was speaking Esterling, by the way.
That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, he did lead. Did he lead with Esterling?
Yeah. As far as I can tell.
How many people have we met that have led with Esterling?
I mean, were you the first one to say something?
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh, that's
So
right.
I mean, he might have just been. I mean, but he knows Esterling either way. He's pretty fluent, as far as I can tell.
So are the abandoned.
True. I just don't get evil vibes from this guy.
Sure.
I said he looked really imposing standing up on the tower. He said, "I don't mean to impose."
I'm just telling you to be careful.
I'm always careful.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we're definitively not careful.
All right, who wants to fly up that tower?
I do.
All right,
No.
I will.
we got 10 minutes once we're up there. So 5 minutes up, 5 minutes back.
We can also cut it close and drop down if we wanted to.
I can.
Oh, that's
I
true.
can stop us from hitting the ground. That's what I'm saying.
Your slow fall will not save you. You fall from 1,000 feet in the air.
Well, I
You
mean,
would die
like,
instantly.
I know, but like, if I
Probably,
Nope.
yeah.
If you run down the side of the spire.
no, I'm saying like
Hell of a
if
stretch.
my fly ran out like I was like 1/3 above the ground maybe.
What a good way to leave the conversation.
Actually, that would be like
30 Z6.
Cut off.
Like, all right, well, our
See ya.
time's up.
Whatever.
Never mind.
Yeah. All right,
Well,
that's
I
cool.
would
So
think no.
10 minutes all the way up.
Okay.
Okay. Will
All right, like 1/12 of the spine.
just sort of extend his hands around, just sort of surreptitiously, and all your heart sort of rise in your chest as clothing starts billowing around you, and we will fly up.
You kind of get used to it.
Hard pressed to believe that.
Let's go.
Okay. So you all rocket upwards. You end up floating around the guy, I presume?
Yeah, not like surrounding him.
Sure.
One side, for
They
sure.
all surround him, then they like circle. Like,
Start drawing weapons.
Hello, we're
Hello.
back.
I
For
can
real
see.
this time. I hope you'll excuse me for that. Can't be too careful around here.
I all are dangerous. My name's Wilavor, by the way.
Wilavor.
It's a pleasure to meet
I'm Dendro.
Dendro?
you. Can we get your name, any chance?
Varro.
Spell that, sir?
Varro.
Nice.
Oh, I'll write it.
I like the simple ones.
you sure it's not Varro away?
Or Varrolt?
Vermin?
How long have you been
200 years.
Quite a long time.
Quite.
Anything on your mind?
Absolutely nothing.
Right on.
Is there a reason you came up here to begin with?
Yes.
Would you be willing to share that reason?
Why would you like to know, Wilavor?
Just curious.
Turns and looks at you.
About what's going on in these islands. It's a massive spike in the sky. A man standing on top. Haven't seen something like that before. There's got to be a reason for it.
Sure.
Just curious. That's who I am.
I understand.
What direction is he facing?
Right now, from the direction you guys are heading, he's facing forward. The same way you were walking before.
So not willing to share?
You didn't ask me if I was willing to share. You asked me if I had a reason.
Oh.
And then I asked you why you would like to know, and you said because you were curious.
I apologize. Are you willing to share?
There's no need for apologies, merely precision.
My weakness.
I came here to get away from the rest of the earth, to stand as alone as I could find, to emulate.
To emulate?
Yes, to emulate.
Okay.
To emulate what? An individual? A figure?
Nothing.
Or nothing? An idea?
All three of those, yes.
Does this go by name?
Sorry?
Does this thing
You just
work?
gave 3 names.
And you, okay. Where are you from originally?
Myself?
Yeah. Before 200 years ago.
I traveled, mostly. But I was born in Essentium before it was destroyed.
Okay. You've seen a lot. Were you... Did you see it destroyed?
I did.
What caused it?
War.
How old were you when it was destroyed?
I was nearly 40 years of age.
Did you participate in the war?
I did.
I take it you're not a hunter then.
I was a hunter. But I think that anyone who claims to be a hunter now is sorely mistaken.
Can you tell us more about the hunters in general?
What would you like to know?
How many of them there are, what they do?
There are
Ours
none
so
left,
few.
not truly. As I said, anyone who claims to be a hunter is likely mistaken, or deliberately misleading you. We were feared because we were the servants, the chosen, the company of Virubus, named the Almighty.
Does he recognize my crown?
Hmm?
Does he look like he recognizes?
Would you like to make an insight roll?
Yeah.
Sure, make an insight roll.
15?
It's super hard to get a read on this dude.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
It's like trying to inside a rock.
It's more like trying to inside a cloud, but you know.
Trying to
There's a
insight
difference.
Check, trying to insight check the inside of your eyelids while you're sleeping.
Do you know of any false hunters that would be good to know about?
False hunters is also not correct. Hunters were and no longer are.
Do you know of anyone saying they are hunters currently? Still?
I don't. I have heard legends and tales, but I have not met any of them myself.
We ran into an arbiter who
Hmm.
told us to be wary of the hunters.
Hmm. Living or dead?
Alive.
It's usually good advice. As you watch, he shifts his feet so that the foot that was previously on his knee is now on top of the spire, and the other one switches position. His torso entirely unmoving.
Are you flying or just levitating?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That actually helps. That's pretty cool.
Were you trained by Varro's company?
I was, yes.
And that was 200 years ago-ish?
More.
How long ago was the sentient destroyed?
Close to 200 years ago.
Huh. So you left the conflict before it was destroyed.
No, I was there when it was destroyed.
Did you say you've been out here for 200 years?
I left shortly afterwards.
They said there were 40 when Ascension was destroyed. The entire time they were trained before.
Oh,
Yeah.
From like 18 to 40.
I missed.
What was the second again? Just the
War.
just war, but like, did something rise from it?
I mean, the stories that we've heard, there are portals and fell beasts now,
Yes.
laying waste to the ruins at least.
Yes.
Feel any particular way about that?
Regret.
What would you do if those beasts were cleared out? Portals closed, that sort of thing?
I'm not sure. I don't think they ever will be.
You seen the Tunch spiller around here?
What?
Big old, apparently it's huge. You saw a footprint, like sort of down there, close to where it's up.
You mean the Deus Ever
Yeah.
I have seen it.
Recently?
No.
How
Yeah.
often would you say it comes by this island?
It's been nearly a decade since it was last here.
Old footprint. You know where it is?
I don't.
Seen anything troubling recently in this area?
Yes.
Care to specify?
I can see Barathrum from the spire.
That is troubling. Do you know anything about a large black dog that leads people to Baratheon?
I do not.
Encountered it last night. Apparently he was trying to push somebody in.
Strange.
Mm-hmm. How about those fellas holed up in those camps that are over yonder, around to the east? Got some sort of fiend holed up in there.
I don't know who they are.
Okay.
Just concerned about Barathrum, or have they seen something else that's in
I mean, have you seen any specific happenings around Varro? Any comings
Yes.
and goings of cultists, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Anything more particularly concerning than just individuals or very, very small
There are
groups?
more of them than there used to be. And they come more frequently and they bring greater offerings.
We've heard that the bonds on the prison are weakening. Haven't seen the track.
If they are, we may all be doomed.
No way to reverse that, you know?
Not that I know.
Do you have any idea of anyone who might know?
Do you know how the prison was imprisoned in the first place?
By the gods. When the world and these isles were young.
Well, now do you have anything else?
What of you, Dendro? You have said almost nothing.
I'm more of an observer than a speaker.
And yet, here you are.
When was the last time someone approached you like this, how we are now?
Nearly 15 years ago.
Do you remember the previous?
I do. It was a man named Scipio.
Fuck that guy. You can't go anywhere in the islands without being like, fucking Scipio.
Scipio was here, carved right under his ass.
He wears booty shorts that say Scipio across
He has the ropes to hide him, but if he lifts them up. The Daisy Dukes.
Sequin. Oh,
You wouldn't happen to know where Scipio is these days?
No.
Any idea of what he was doing? What he had
I
planned?
think he was here to kill me.
Oh, clearly he failed.
Yes.
Did he even try?
Yes.
How badly did he fail?
Not very.
That's rot. But
why would he want to kill you?
I'm not certain, but I think it is likely because I'm one of the few people who remembers the old world properly, as it was. Well, you can just stage whisper to the mics.
I'm just bursting.
You could fly up here too.
No, I can't.
You can get Kate to come down.
I can't ask it.
I mean, you certainly can.
Okay.
You did it last time.
Yeah, I did. Scipio wants everyone who was around when Sentium was around dead for some reason.
I'm not certain it's everyone, but many.
Because he's trying to establish some sort of new world order.
I cannot say. Or rather, I don't actually know.
Do you expect him to come back and try again?
Yes.
What would make you think that? Would he come back?
Scipio always returns, one way or another.
That's foreboding.
Quite.
Has he come before the last time?
No.
Okay. I mean, has he been systematically showing people who know the old world as it was?
Trying to, certainly.
What other people fall into that category? If you don't mind me asking.
Aurelia was the first of them.
He succeeded.
And any others?
Many.
Do we know Aurelia?
She used to be the leader of the Shark Knights.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She paired up with Scipio and Gnaeus, and Scipio betrayed her, took Serenity. Gnaeus, something happened with him, but yeah, it was bad days. Gnaeus is the corrupted leader of the Arbiters, now dead.
You think any of them would be willing to, I don't know, fight back?
Yes.
They're currently engaged in doing so, I would imagine.
Yes.
Who might those people be? We might be interested to talk to them.
I believe Gnosis is the one to speak to.
Where can we find Gnosis?
Let me just quickly double check that name. I'm 95% sure it's Gnosis.
N-O-S-S-U-S.
Sorry?
Got that
How's it spelled?
quest hook.
N-O-S-S-U-S-N-O-S.
You're just gonna be directed this dude.
This man had an exclamation point over his name the whole time.
Yeah. You picked all the optional dialogue options until you found the one. I was like, alright, well.
Yeah, Gnosis is right. N-O-S-S-I-S.
Oh, I-S, okay.
Gnosis.
Yeah. Nessus. Whatever.
I assume we can find. Yes.
Gnosis? I can't say. I don't know. But she's somewhere. She's always hunting.
For what?
For what?
She's always hunting?
Arbiters, abandoned, fiends.
Sounds like she's the best person ever.
We just like her. There's no way that was DeLuca.
No.
Yeah, I hope we didn't drop a mountain on her.
No, it's abandoned. We're fine.
It sounds like Gnosis could have crushed an arbiter on her own, so.
Anyone fighting back that we could maybe seek out? Maybe know
I would
location?
seek out Gnosis.
Right. Like, any known affiliates in Gnosis? Maybe people that we'd have a easier time finding?
Any general area, you know, she's around that we can
I
start
believe she dwells on this island somewhere. But I'm not sure.
She's the being of the big scaly eye.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe in the forest.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Snickers, sponsor us.
Stickers, if you would like to sponsor us, we 100% are down for that.
I will,
Any other corporate sponsor, we will 100% show for you.
Also hired me as a quality engineer.
I will
Question.
eat all the Snickers bars.
One question, it's a little off topic, but I was just interested. Just because we haven't looked into a large portion of the northern part of this island. Do you know what that road leads to?
Yes, it leads to Ascension.
Like going all the way north?
That road leads many places, but all of those roads lead to Ascension.
Does that road lead directly towards a bridge?
Several.
okay. Do you have any particular feelings about Shark Knights nowadays?
What's under the bridge?
The Shard Knights try.
Ouch. Fucking brutal.
Sam, is that you? Their goals are just improve what they do.
Some of them.
So,
Yes.
Do you know what's under the bridge on the northeastern section of Fiorano?
Of where?
Of
Captensum.
Captensum.
I see you use the old names.
We're not from here. Hear a lot of names or things.
Everyone uses different ones.
The northeastern side,
Or no, sorry, I apologize. Northwestern side.
the northwestern side,
Yeah, accurate.
there stands a single knight.
Roughly our size or bigger?
Yes.
That's bad.
How strong is this individual?
Very.
Stronger than you?
Maybe.
Do you know who this person is?
I don't think they have a name.
Are they part of any known faction? Or have any known reason to be on that bridge?
I believe there may be more of them past the ridge.
Interesting.
You don't know where they come from?
I do not.
And of some fashion, I guess.
That's a new player, though.
Yeah. What's a map?
No faction on OVR. Weird.
Interesting.
You want to know anything about what's going on in general? Imagine you don't get that much.
I'm always. But I understand your meeting. But no, I'm quite content.
Okay.
Would there ever be anything that would get you to come down off this spire?
Yes,
What would that be?
Scipio.
You want him dead?
Very much so.
but not enough to seek him out.
If I had the slightest inkling of where he was.
That's fair. So if we were to come back with knowledge of where he was,
I just might, yes.
good to know.
Likewise, if Yakto ever descends from Anarchia, do let me know.
That's also very good to know.
This motherfucker fist fight Yakto.
He's gonna start straight out to over the balls. Alright. I'm not feeling that ball.
What do you want?
What'd you say?
Would you want help fighting Scipio, or do you want to do that on your own?
I would like Scipio dead,
One way or another.
one way or another.
I like that.
We will keep you surprised with the situation.
Is there anyone else you want dead in particular?
Yes?
You.
Any names we could get?
At the very top of the list, other than Scipio and Yakto, stands the Deus Eversor.
Okay.
Is there a particular reason you want it dead?
Yes.
What is that
Eversor.
reason?
Other side?
Yeah. What's it?
It
Jurassic.
In a manner of speaking, it was the Deus Eversor that destroyed Sentium.
Is it the thing? Is it something that came out of the portals that were made during the destruction of Ascentium? It probably did most of the destruction.
From a certain point of view.
It wasn't any person that was responsible for opening those portals, though, was it?
There was, indeed, one individual who did so.
And that would have been. Oh my god, it's him.
I shouldn't say.
Oh my god, it's him.
Shouldn't say because it's not information we should know, or because you're protecting someone, or you just don't want us to know.
It pains me to say it.
Is it someone within reach? I mean,
No.
Is it someone who betrayed Ascentium?
After a fashion.
Was it a old leader of Ascentium, or just...
I shouldn't say.
painful memories. It's not like above our pay grade anyway. You know.
It's true.
But
It's on our list as well. So
What?
it's on our list as well.
The Eversor.
Yes, we need something from it. Mercy.
You were seeking after mercy.
mhm.
Why?
Well. Oh, you don't like Yakto? Yeah, this is fine. We're trying to kill Yakto. We need
We're told the Vechic Echoes would allow us
Why?
to do that.
what?
Yikes.
Well, I mean, it seems to me that the Herald of the Golden Kingdom, or what's left of it anyway, sort of doesn't belong, right? Cultists haven't been too friendly with us.
It's true. Had some bad run-ins with them.
I mean, that and dragons, we do want to clear those out too. Be easier with the echoes
They have grown stronger in recent years.
in recent months too. Well, I think our time is definitely about up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were running out of time.
You gotta hit it perfectly.
So,
Don't really have much else that I can think of now.
Dendro? Well, we'll let you know if we find a Scipio. And be on the lookout for anything else that'd be of interest to you.
I will let you know if I see the Eversor.
Sounds
One
good.
question before we go.
Hmm.
Are you a monk?
Am I a monk?
Do you practice tradition? Do you feel ki?
I do, yes. But all living beings do. key dwells in each and every one of us.
Well, it was really nice talking to you. It was really good meeting you, and I guess we'll see you.
I'm gonna fall grace for them.
So you all hurtle downwards. I assume you feather fall everyone?
Put a what up?
Trust me, will.
How'd it go?
Pretty well, actually.
He had a lot of information. He sees a lot of stuff. Definitely been around.
He's
His name is Varro. Hold on, let me see that map. He writes Varro's needle on it.
You already had the map.
Oh yeah. Well, Varro needle.
You're busy talking. You could be working on a map while you're floating 1,000 feet in the air.
Alright. Anything of importance?
Well, it's from Ascentium. He was
Okay.
there when it was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He is a hunter, by the way.
Sure.
But he doesn't,
Vindicated.
yeah, he doesn't believe there are any.
How'd the rest of your theory hold up?
Oh, I didn't. It was obviously not right, so I didn't even pursue it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the rest of the theory. There was the part I was concerned about. Obviously, he's a hunter. No shit.
Well, obviously he's a hunter. Okay, you couldn't even give me that in the moment, though.
I mean, obviously he is.
Okay.
Anyone with eyes can see
It's
that.
so obvious. It's so obvious.
Anything else? He's from Ascension.
Over 200 years old.
Okay.
Despises Scipio. Scipio actually fought him 15 years ago. Nearly, or gave him a good fight.
Okay.
But Scipio lost. But he wants Scipio dead. He wants the Ecto dead.
Sounds like Scipio didn't actually lose then. Sounds like it was a tie.
Yeah, I mean, he's still here. But, you know,
So is Scipio.
Someone
It's true.
named Gnosis.
I'd say you can lose a fight, but not necessarily die.
Against someone like Scipio, I don't think that's true. Who's Gnosis?
Gnosis is a hunter. Apparently, she's somewhere on Varro, or Captensum, whatever.
So hunters are still a faction.
No, I mean like literally someone who hunts.
Ah,
Yeah,
The hunters are no more.
Yeah.
She's a ranger with the hunter subclass?
got it.
Yeah, there's no hunters anymore for real, according to him. Anyone who claims to be a hunter is sorely mistaken.
So the faction's dissolved, but the people are still around.
No, I think that's about right.
Okay.
around there.
What does she hunt?
Arbiters,
Arbiters, fiends, all that, bandits, all that stuff.
I think we should try and find her and then clear up all the guys over there. But also, she wants to kill Scipio as well. And he indicated that he would also be down to party. In a sense.
If we can find where Scipio is, he'd be
Yeah,
up
just
for
find
all this.
Scipio.
That's
simple.
the hard, obviously.
Find Scipio,
but,
Forbon.
Like, this is one of our first legitimate allies, in a way.
If we find Gnosis, her goals seem fairly aligned with
Yeah.
your own.
Mhm. He's also okay with the shark knights too. Or at least some of them, he said. So,
Also, he told us about a knight and the road in the north.
Yeah, don't even need to scout the road anymore, because we know it's on the bridge.
A knight.
It's just single.
a single knight.
Our size, roughly.
That's
Who may or
really
may not
bad.
be
Yeah,
able
it
to take
is.
him.
That's really bad considering there's a black dragon that hasn't killed that guy yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he thinks that there's more of them across the bridge.
Faction?
We
Certainly seems like it.
Probably.
Or at least somebody
Unknown faction?
Apparently.
completely unknown.
Oh boy.
Wiki entry, the unknown.
List of things that are unknown.
Unknown, just ambiguous.
Alright.
The unknown, the unknowns, the
Alright.
unknowns thing.
Anything else major? Highlights?
No, he wants the Evershore dead as well.
So
but,
does
like, that's, yeah.
Okay.
Apparently there was a person that opened up the portals in Ascension, which let out
No
air.
shit.
I
Someone
mean,
has
like
to
literally
open up.
one person who was responsible for the entire
He was
fall of
not
Ascension.
willing to tell us who that person was.
It was too painful to remember.
Sounds like a close friend. Or him.
Or him. Oh, I was thinking.
Alright. I'm good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Head back then.
All the way back. All the way back we go. He pulls out a pen.
Okay.
And we start casting it.
Okay. So you spend the hour. What are the rest of you doing for the hour?
Meditating.
I'll just go back up and just fly around again with an eagle. Not like the spire, but just
Sure.
like fly around there and
Sure.
kill time.
Cassandra taps her
Oh,
foot
you
waiting for an
I don't have to roll for anything for meditating, right?
Not here.
Cool.
Okay. So you return. It's about Wednesday morning at about 9:30. All right. Because you woke up at 7:30 and you spent an hour walking there. Hour to cast the thing, a few more minutes.
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
about right.
Cool.
When Kate gets back into the tent. No, never mind. I don't have spell slots for it. I was gonna unveil.
Give me a second,
spell
and I will. Oh,
But
that's.
I can't because I don't have the slots.
Give me a second, and I will do some XP math for you all.
Little hint. What spell
Really?
would Dom take?
I'm gonna guess.
Something that he had showed the taproom. That limits it down pretty substantially. I don't know if it
No
knows
combat.
spells very well.
Yeah, combat.
No information.
But he didn't take Cone of
Gone
Cold.
two
Come on.
places.
It's some info.
Not really. I like music, not working.
We got a pretty substantial quest line. We made a cool
With no workable
I mean-
information. We know find gnosis.
Yeah, but we're also like couples of people who also live in this area and are hunters by trade. So like, we're kind of. I mean,
Sure, are kind of idiots though. So
they try.
yeah,
They try.
that's what you say when your cousin's an idiot. You're just like, bless his heart, he tries. Like, you know.
Well, they just need a little
I also
nudge in the
live-
right direction. They could have another little breadcrumb on the
Yeah,
trail.
maybe.
Okay, you each get
Hang on. 4275.
4275.
That's the last four
That would
digits of
be
my phone number.
amazing. I think it's going to be a little under what I
Something
need. I
further.
think it's going to be 3146.
Dom, Ro, do you have guesses?
3147.
I don't.
What did you say, Dom?
3147.
Fuck you.
4,189. 88, sorry. 88.
Fuck, I
Or
found the
188.
counterspell. God damn.
Yeah. Okay. That concludes this
How much was it?
session.
4,000.
188.
I think we'll probably next be playing Thursday?
Yeah.
Probably.
Almost definitely.
D10
In the meantime, follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Reddit, our wiki page. We're putting this VOD up on YouTube in a few days. Yeah, check out Wednesday morning when the group returns. Otherwise, thank you to our 1.4 viewers who are all watching. And we'll catch you all
The
later.
reason we do this.
Thank you.
They're not.